Well, Luke Cratter, what's up, man?
Oh man, life in general, man.
Life. Like this man's getting married soon, Josh. You're getting
Oh
married
man,
In 30
congratulations!
in
days.
on the second, right?
Yeah, in 30 days. There's a counter.
Are you gonna cry?
Probably not.
If you cry, I'm gonna make
I'm
you.
a
You're
big-
crying 'cause
I-
it's all over. I mean, like the process.
I don't know. Probably not. I'm not very in touch with my emotions.
That's good.
God, it's me, Luke Crowder, and two of the most soulless people I have in Birmingham here on the episode with me today, dude. Man, dude, it's like I have
You're
no
not wrong.
feelings. I can't feel anything anymore.
We
My
truly
life
don't
is
care, man.
terrible. Life is
It's
terrible.
not. It's not that. I'm just the shell of a man
It's
who
the,
used to be.
It's the hip hop clients, right,
Oh
Luke?
man,
Dude.
It's the hip hop guys.
Yeah.
How many
is, it
guys
is.
ask you for beats and say, "But I don't pay for beats"?
No.
I ask a lot of producers this question.
see, this is what happens, man. They get you in the session. Yeah, I love what you got, man. I love what you got. Now, can you burn that for me? Can you put on my jump drive? Yeah, this costs so and so amount of dollars. Yeah,
About that.
Oh,
I get
there it is.
I get paid on Friday, so yeah.
They never get paid
I
on
love-
Friday.
They never get paid on
They
Friday.
get paid a Friday 2 years from now, and they're like, "Man, you remember that track you made?" I'm like,
Yeah, like
It's
3
on
years
some
later.
hard drive sitting in my closet that I'm not about to go dig through.
Oh man, it's the worst, man. Or they'll sit down, make the track, and say, "Well, I got half the money now." I'm like,
I got half the track
What
for
do they
you.
think? It's like they're trying to finance a project or something. That's not how it works, dude. This ain't
man,
a car payment, dude. Pay up right now.
it's terrible. It gets to the point you got to tell people beforehand, man, can we work together? Yeah, but this is the price starting off. Half a front. Yeah,
Yeah, my dog
Dude,
died.
I can't tell you how many beats I've ripped off YouTube and had to like take out the producer's tag so it doesn't get copywritten.
man, it's the worst thing ever. That and the fact, if you are a producer, can you make this same track, but
not.
put your make it exactly the same
I
way.
want this Juice World beat. Carbon copied, but just
I
put
want
your name
I want
on it.
Juice
Yeah.
WRLD's instrumental, but I want you to make it,
the same
and I
instrumental.
want you to clear it. The replication license.
It's stupid because you're sitting there like they basically want me to trace and color a whole song the same exact way. And what happens when you meet up with their producer, if you ever do? And they're like, "Oh yeah,
There's about
This
to be some
sounds
hands thrown.
suspiciously like my big hit.
Like
I
mine.
know."
Didn't that beat for that Juice WRLD track? Sting wanted his money from that sample, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he was about to
That's
sue
not
those
the
guys.
first. That's not the first track Sting has sued over to get like his money.
Right.
It's not
Oh, yeah.
uncommon for him at least. And dude, he probably could make so much money if that's all he did for the rest of his life.
For the rest of his life.
Just so much money because that Sting sample is very popular.
When I
It
grow
is.
up, I want to write a bunch of big hit songs and then sue everyone that tries to write a song like
Dude,
that.
there's nothing
We
wrong
need
with
to
that, dude.
copy strike them.
Just copy strike everything, dude. Like they played that one note. It's like, oh, give me your fucking money. That kind
I've
of deal.
been
99% publishing.
I've been dabbling with sampling,
Uh-huh.
but more like for memes in my tracks. So
Yeah.
like I showed you that one earlier. I have an
Yes.
intro to my band's new album, and it's nothing but out of context Jordan Peterson quotes.
Good gracious.
And
God.
I kind of constructed a conversation of Jordan Peterson with Jordan Peterson.
So because like all these beats are getting pirated now, I was gonna ask you guys' opinion. And I always talk about technology. I'm pretty sure my two listeners are gonna get tired of me talking about it. But
There's one that has like 3 views, so at least maybe 3 people
maybe somebody who accidentally stumbled on it is like, oh shit.
Damn it.
listened to 10 minutes and
It's
said,
like,
"No,
oh,
I'm out,
nah,
fam.
I'm good, man.
I am out."
But what was I saying? Oh yeah, how much technology has kind of changed the I guess the music industry in a sense. I guess from I'm trying to get that perspective from a beat maker or a producer. I'm gonna get your idea of how it's changed your world, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it makes stuff a whole lot easier, but it also gives a bad representation sometimes of older things. Like I guess the good side would be like you know, some of the new VSTs that are out now, like you might want something that's from the 60s, like the Mellotron, you know, the stuff that was made for like the Beatles. But now they have VSTs where you don't have to go and find those boards or whatnot. I love it, but sometimes you'll get some bad representations of older things that should sound, you know, pristine and classic.
Now, when you say bad representations, are you talking about the VSTs or are you talking about the people using the VSTs?
That's a good one. Probably a little bit of both, but mostly the people that are using them.
Oh yeah,
but
I could see that.
Yeah, there's I saw a quote that says, just because you have the Chris Lord Algae presets doesn't make you Chris Lord Algae.
Or for our listeners, just because you have a NASCAR doesn't mean you know how to drive it.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
But yeah, because it probably has to do with the lower price point to enter this industry now.
True.
So sometimes it's not even a price point. It's just, hey, let me go crack this program. And there we go.
Man.
What DAW do you use? Luke, are you an FL guy?
I am an FL guy since 3.56, man.
What edition's on it? 12, right? It's 12 right now, right?
I think it's 12, and then Mac has like I don't know what the Mac version
that one doesn't
is.
count.
It doesn't.
It's not ready.
It's so
they
buggy,
shouldn't have
man.
dropped that. It's so bad right now.
It's super buggy. Like
I tried to open it. I got the trial of it to just like see, and it kept crashing. I couldn't even get it to open.
You could get it open, dude.
Man, but yeah, right now I'm on FL10. I went back, man. Like for some reason, I'm a creature of habit. So even though I could go up to 12 or up, 10 is perfect, man. I don't like sometimes when they change where some of the pieces or the settings are. So I just, hey, 10 is for me.
When I was working on the
Avid is the worst about doing that.
Yeah.
Changing shortcuts where stuff is.
Man, you'll look for a metronome that will be in the right top, corner, and then you're like, oh, I have
now
to.
they moved it behind 3 different menus.
Yeah.
Under tools.
Might just be a Windows thing.
It's under preferences now for some reason.
It's under help. And you're like,
it's under help.
Help. People trying to use it and need it.
I can't keep time.
Where's the save button?
Where's this?
Well, it's under browsers.
Oh, it's under browsers.
It's right next.
Oh,
to
you
the
actually
trash.
have to go to you actually have to go to control panel now while you have it open. You have to open up a script and copy and paste this
properties.
It's under properties. So another thing I'm going to say is because as we're probably noticing, with this new rise in VSTs, right now sometimes there seems to be less of a need to hire an actual real musician, if that makes sense. Because some people don't care how shitty it sounds like. Why would they go hire someone like Andrew to play the guitar when they could just crack a VST and just pluck away at the piano? It'll sound like shit, but they don't know. You know?
I'll put it like this, man. I think with the way everything is going and how accessible VSTs or DAWs are, you'll get it to where you'll get other, guitars or whatnot, but it still doesn't seem authentic though, man.
But some people don't care about that.
They don't. Some people love just the fact that things are microwaved and they can just fix it up. Oh, I made a whole guitar ballad by playing 2 notes. And it has a setup loop point on it already to where it sounds like a perfect thing. But I don't know, man. It's just something about somebody actually playing stuff.
Nah, dude, I completely understand that.
There's this like threshold that tech hasn't quite made it yet, because in the realm I deal with, we use a lot of amp sims, and there's just something about miking a cabinet that amp sims just haven't quite got.
It's the air.
Yeah, there's that air movement. You can't simulate that yet.
That's true.
Not that we won't make it to that point. We probably will.
We'll probably make it there next month.
Yeah.
That's how fast it's going.
I was recording Katwan. He was playing for some gospel track, and we were talking about it, like just a microphone right in the grill of that cabinet. Like it was just in your face guitar, and it sounded awesome. And there's just something that hasn't been. I mean, an IR, like an impulse response, is a sample fired off in a cabinet and recording the response, but it's just not quite there yet. Like sending the DI into the amp sim and Yeah, the air. I think that's what it is. It's just that speaker moving and the microphone catching it in real time.
So I was asking Luke that question because I wanted to go to you, Andrew. And from a commercial standpoint, as in making money, has it really affected you that much? Because I know you're playing jazz gigs, but there's other gigs that you might be called for, such as like hip hop or studio musician stuff. You think that's affected you a lot in some way, or you can't really tell?
I can't tell yet. Honestly, I'm really early in my career, but I can say that what I've been thinking is that the accessibility definitely affects like the level of artistry, right?
Right.
Like even if you like from my standpoint, like you know, guitar has been made much more easy to approach, you know, like with, you know, whatever, it's been up since before my time that, you know, starter equipment's been out, but it's like, you know, there's more mediocre work and it might be more, it's more visible, like the medium to lower end, but I think that the accessibility is probably a good thing overall. I don't know.
Yeah, 'cause there's a statistic saying that 1 in every 5 people are a musician. Well, at least in America.
Oh,
Yeah, 1 in every 5 people.
yeah.
Yeah.
1 in every 5 people has
think
pressed the
that they're
keyboard.
musicians.
Right, you know. That's why when people say, how many instruments has you played? Oh, I played 32. It's like, but you probably play them like Helen Keller. Or something,
Yeah,
or on
damn.
crack or
Oof.
something. You know what
I
I mean?
play the
Yeah.
triangle.
I
the
played the
tambourine.
triangle. I played a alto triangle.
You can't say you
The
play the
bongos.
triangle until you've played a 30-minute piece and you only play 3 notes in that whole thing. Don't talk
Yeah,
to me.
but it's
Until you've
pivotal.
sat-
It's
until you-
pivotal, dude.
It's
you're-
not.
Your
It's not.
paycheck.
It's artistry.
Your
I know.
paycheck
It's not.
rests on those 3 notes, dude. If you don't hit those 3 notes, it's like, oh, we're taking 50% of your paycheck, bitch. Yeah, kind of deal, dude.
I get
Master
paid up
cowbell.
front. I always make sure to get paid up front.
Dude, wedding
You
gigs,
got you, man.
wedding gigs, you gotta be careful, dude. Wedding gigs and rappers, you gotta always get them to pay up front,
Ooh,
dude.
wedding gigs.
Because wedding gigs, they're so happy. So what will happen is as the bride and groom are leaving, guess who else is leaving?
Everybody
Everybody,
else.
Oh,
including the people with your check. So Dr. Turner, right? He used to tell everyone to do this thing, right? Is if you work a wedding gig, you do not play a fucking note until you get that check in your hand. And
Yep.
it was one story that he told us that one time he was at a wedding gig, right? They haven't paid him yet, and it was about time for him to play. And when it was time for him to play, he just sat there for 5 minutes, looked around, and just held his hands out. It's like, where's my money?
he just sat there with his wallet open.
Yeah, he just sat there with his wallet open, like looking at the time. And then he was supposed to start playing, but he didn't play because he didn't get his money yet. Because he knew as soon as he started playing, like that wedding, they were just going to be so happy. And they were going to pull I get paid next Friday
Oh man.
in 2 years.
2
Yeah.
years from now.
It depends. Because I know that up north there's like, or at least I don't know if I really understand this, but there's like wedding contractors and it's like more reliable. But around here, there's like not as much organization. You know what I mean?
Right. You're saying the musicians are contracted through someone else,
Mhm.
right?
Like a
Yeah.
business.
Like
Mm.
Dr. Roberts is part of this, like I don't know what it is, but it's like a business that books wedding bands. Can't remember their name. It's like Emerald Springs or something. But so
Speaking of that, wedding season's coming up in
Mhm.
spring, right? You can get yourself some decent money, I think.
yeah, I've done one wedding gig. Doc said that if you learn like this list of 100 tunes, he'll like put you in the system, start booking you.
I see.
But they're all like top 100.
Top 100 tunes.
At least
Yeah.
they're all in the same key.
Yeah.
From Lil Pump to Nickelback. Who still listens to Nickelback, dude? Nobody.
Not untrue. Untrue. They're
People
still
still
selling records. Yes.
They're still selling records?
Yeah.
I bet in
They're-
50 years it's
They're
gonna
up
be.
to like 50 million sold.
Well, that's
Goodness
more than
gracious.
That's more than most rappers.
Well,
Yeah.
rappers don't make records.
Yeah.
They just make singles.
They make singles, dude.
Yeah.
But they call it a record.
It's not a record.
But they
Or
call it
tape.
a record.
They
They-
call it a tape.
They call
Yeah.
it, well, a tape used to be a term for free stuff,
Yeah.
like free projects. Is that the case?
Yeah. Man, it's different now. It's completely different. Like you said, they're only coming out with singles, and most of the times like you said, it's one take. It's not a full.
Can
song.
confirm one take and they're done.
Yeah, and most of it is freestyled. it might be like a punch me in.
Really?
Run it back, man.
Yeah, it's a.
I need to change this line.
It's
Run
a
it back.
single-driven market because
Yeah.
most of the people they don't have time to just sit around and digest the whole album. I mean, even when albums do get released, people go through it really quick now. It used to be I'm gonna listen to this for half a year. Now these days, like I'm gonna listen to it for 3 days. No, not even 3 days. I'm gonna listen to it for an hour.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
next thing.
People don't sit down and just listen anymore. Like I try to find time to do that. It's even hard when I actively seek out, active listening. You know what I mean?
I think
Yeah, I know
it's
what you mean.
I think it's because of the streaming process, man. The fact that you're getting so much music in 1 week and you're like, oh, that just came out? I just listened to that all the way through, but now they have another album by somebody that's close to them. Let me go listen to that too. Oh, now they got that out too. Is back in the day you had to buy stuff
Yeah.
for like $20 and save your money for it. But now it's like, hey, $11
Well, I
a
mean,
month.
The A&R people are making the money.
Yeah.
And the labels, if you're even on a label, like at this point, you can be commercially successful without a label.
That's true.
What is A&R?
Artist
Repertoire.
Represent.
Okay.
or something like that.
Representative.
I don't know.
Artists and
It's the-
repertoire. Which
It's the people who
That's
pay
the
the
bougie
studio.
version of it.
yeah.
I can tell you that.
These are the people that basically find the talent
Yes.
or find the studios where the people have to record it. They organize everything
Yeah.
for
So,
from
I
producer
think-
or whoever.
So I think what you're saying is an A&R is basically an investor, but the money comes from the label.
Yeah, the money comes from the label. The A&R is the A&R is
Kinda like
basically
the middleman.
yeah,
for
he pieces everybody.
Because-
Like if
I see.
the musician has a certain way he loves to be recorded, he'll say, hey, let me go hit up this guy and put y'all together. Oh, you don't have any producers to make the beats? I'm gonna find a pool of producers, or I have like a camp, and I'll say, hey, I got 20 producers. And he'll come and say, I need 8 songs. All those producers make 8 songs. Now I'm gonna pick 5 out of those 8 from all the 20, give it to the artist, or tell the artist, hey, I'm gonna have this piano guy come in and play with you. They're just the middleman. They tie all the loose ends and put it together.
When
That seems kind of fun.
the first big label thing I was doing, the artist would just call his A&R guy, and then I gave my email to the A&R guy. And for the time period we worked together, I was just getting. It was nauseating how many beats I was getting a day.
Yep.
You were told to make, or you were
No,
receiving?
I was receiving because I was the engineer,
Oof.
so I
Yeah.
had to have them to put in Pro Tools for him to rap. Really
With quotes.
use
So-
that term loosely.
So going
Yeah.
back to you were saying how people were going through music quicker, right? I think in general that applies to everything in life. People are going through
Oh,
things
yeah.
quicker. Like
Yeah.
when it comes to communication or the way you receive your information. Like let's go to the news cycle, right? News cycle used to be only a few hours in the evening, as far as
Mhm.
I'm concerned. Or I think I
2
remember.
hours.
2 hours. It used to be that, but now it's like a 24-hour sort of news cycle kind of
Hmm.
thing. Or you're getting information really quick, like on Facebook or whatever. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of things attribute to why everything is going so much faster these days. It's because people are digesting information so quickly, right? Everything's like that.
Digesting?
Yep.
Yeah. They don't
Receiving.
receiving.
Yeah.
Yeah. But digesting as in like you get what I'm saying. They just
Yeah,
take it in and
yeah.
shit it out. They don't really think about it. But
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's people appreciate music better? Now that technology is sped
There's
up
the
to where-
opportunity to.
you're right. There is the opportunity to. I don't think people do. Because
Some do.
I find myself in that slip sometimes too. Because sometimes I don't think I put enough time to just appreciate what some musicians have done just because of how fast everything nowadays.
Yeah.
Because
Just- Oh, my bad.
Um,
Go.
talking about how fast it goes, man, you could make a single in an hour. Easy. Like
Yep.
no song to mastered in like an hour. Like the beat, the dude comes in, makes the beat in like 15 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
craps out some chords, puts a bell patch over it, obnoxious 808s,
Okay.
and gives it to me.
Here's
and
the
then
problem.
The rapper
You're assuming
freestyles. Okay.
and delay.
All right, here's the problem, Josh. You're assuming that the producer's actually going to make the beat. No, what he already did was sent that label
No,
like a
I've-
500 beat package. It's like, yo,
I've had a couple of sessions where the dude had hit his producer, like a personal dude that made beats for him, came in. I hooked up his laptop into the system, and as soon as he made the beat, I matched recorded it into Pro Tools, and then the dude freestyled the song in like 15 minutes.
For everybody out
'Cause-
there, he's doing the air quotes.
do the air quotes,
Because
man.
no rap song today is more than like 2.5 minutes long. So he did that in like 10 minutes. I pulled out the old rap presets that I've
The
made.
good old rap presets.
That's right.
Well, because I think it's become less about the music and it's become more about the brand.
Yeah. Oh,
It's-
definitely.
Everything's more
definitely.
visual, right?
Yeah.
You can have a good song, but if it doesn't have visuals, it might not do as well.
That's
No,
been
that
the
is
case
com-
for years, decades, like
Since
MTV.
the music video.
MTV.
Oh,
Yeah. The visual aspect today is
It's big.
even more crucial because, like, they could be a subpar artist, but if they're good looking,
Oh yeah. Oh
it's
yeah.
game. It's game over. That A&R person already knows, yep, I can sell them. I can sell them. You can write the songs, but they're going to perform it.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh,
then
yeah.
There's
you're
a
going
lot
to
of
make
that.
money. You're going to make money. But most importantly, I'm going to make money.
Mm.
Yeah, I guess you could say that if you're going to be a star, you have to have some type of, I don't even want to call it a gimmick.
No, it's
But-
it's a gimmick.
It is, but people have to relate to you somehow or see you and say that's you. Like with Gucci Man, you automatically think hood, but then you see the ice cream. I know what I can, pair with him to know it's what.
Is it
6ix9ine
Gu-
is
dude,
is
is-
the meme.
Is it Gucci Mane or Gucci Man?
It's Gucci Mane.
Mane.
But we're
Okay.
gonna, we'll take
He
the
For
went
the
to-
record.
He was the guy that went to jail and then came out
Yeah.
completely jacked.
Yes.
He
Well,
went
yeah.
in
Oh yeah.
a large man
Yeah,
and came
dude.
out a swole man.
You're either gonna work out or you're gonna get rammed.
Get rammed.
You're just gonna get rammed, dude. I mean, he had to protect
Oof.
himself.
Oh man.
Big oof.
But I think the other problem is there are people that are super talented that can do stuff in one take. And then other people look at it and they say, hey, if he can do it, I can do it. Which is truly not the case.
Not true.
And that's why I think we get a lot of stuff that's not really filtered out and it's just too much of extra.
It's kind of like you open the floodgates, that kind of deal.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what happens. So, say like if I lowered the entry point to get into medical school, right? So, what if I said something like instead of being top of your class, like
Take
as
the
pre-med,
top 30%.
instead of that, I'm saying I'm going to take anybody above a 1.7 GPA. It's very,
Oh.
it's like that, dude. Now you
The
get
mortality rate has
has
gone
increased.
up significantly.
But you saying that that you see somebody with, I don't know if you said this, but I think someone did, but they said that you could see someone talented, but you take their IP, that kind of deal. That reminds me of this thing. You know the actor for Darth Vader. He wasn't.
Oh
the
yeah. He
wasn't
wasn't
the
a voice.
Yeah.
Well, he was for
He
a little
was,
bit.
but he sounded like an angry, like he had
Yeah.
such a thick accent. It was like,
I'm your father.
I'm your father. It's like,
He didn't know. He didn't know that
Yeah,
he
that's
wasn't
the
the
crazy
voice of Darth Vader
I didn't know
until
that.
he saw the edit.
Oh man.
And
That's
her-
the sad thing, dude.
That would feel bad.
Imagine
It-
that, dude.
But it really do be like that. Another, to be kind of devil's advocate to what you're saying, is
Yeah.
the budget's just not there anymore. Like,
True.
you kind of
That's
have
true.
to do things in less than 4 takes to be budget friendly to the label, because they're not gonna drop money on you if they don't know if it'll sell or not. Because I know a lot of new artists are kids. Like, they're
Yeah.
grabbing these kids that have like 10 to 20,000 followers on Instagram
Yeah.
and kind of testing the waters with them.
Hmm.
I've seen that a lot.
I mean, not to mention
Around
the
here?
turnover rate is absolutely insane.
It is.
It is. Like you'll get your check from the label, blah blah blah, and then you get dropped because you ain't doing anything with it except smoking dope and bring your homies who shouldn't be in there in the first place. I saw a lot of that, dude. Bringing in the homies, dude. Blowing the money on like strippers or whatever, and then they just get dropped.
Yeah, the money across the board is just crazy. It's not as big as it used to be. Like where you might have about 10 years ago, producers might get $5,000 for a track, or a beat they do. And now it's
$30.
it's between it's like $2,000 or $1,000 a track now.
So are we talking about are we talking about like selling the IP, or are we talking about the exclusive lease?
Exclusive,
You're not gonna
beat
make any royalties off of it.
No, you're gonna make royalties, but
well, when I say exclusive, I know some dudes do like a big old flat rate and won't take any royalties off of it.
Ooh, that's bad.
But those are like your guys like your Atlanta producers who are just pumping out tons of beats. And
the royalties, would it help them? Are they still going to make all that money back anyway just for having their name on it?
True.
But, I mean, if you can get royalties, you should always take those.
Hey, I always get publishing. I always get publishing, man. I mean,
don't ever sell them the license to the song. Always keep something.
Oh, yeah.
Haven't you been dealing with that a bit, Luke? You've been dealing with someone trying to just take your IP straight up and not give you any kind of either points or back end or
recently. I'll talk about this. I'm just not going to put names. Recently,
Bob.
I know.
We're gonna call him Bob, all right?
Yeah, Bob Drick. One of these guys I've been working with, he just got signed to a label deal, and
can tell by the tone of his voice, this is just going south.
Oh yeah,
immediately.
It's almost going south. It's not there yet, but they repurposed one of his EPs, which I gave him a free track because I like, hey, he's up and coming, but I can see he has direction. Yeah, so I gave him a free track, and the project was a free EP, but he got signed and it got repurposed into an album.
Ooh.
So now the company's making sure they tie all the loose ends. They say, hey, we got to pay you. But they only sent me like the producer declaration papers, nothing dealing with publishing, nothing dealing with how much they're going to pay me for the track. So yeah, sign this and we're going to get the ball rolling. It's like, I'm declaring that I worked on this track. Y'all making it seem like it's a music for hire, but I need to know how much I'm getting paid.
So a producer declaration, that has nothing to do with money. Elaborate to me and the listeners what a producer declaration is.
Yeah, I want to know.
Okay, and I'm learning. I'm still learning everything as I go, but from what I found out, there's a few agreements that you need to have. One, the producer declaration, that basically shows that you worked on that album. You were a part of that album. You were appointed to do some type of music or something to it. For that one, you were the producer. You made the music arrangement. Might have helped with some of the lyric placement, but hip hop, you made the beat. Now with that,
layman's terms.
Yeah, with that, you should also have an agreement that deals with your payment, which could be upfront money or back end, and also your publishing and how many points you get.
Right.
With the way, the rap side goes, is usually a certain amount up front, hopefully 50-50 on publishing, where producer gets his, half, the artist gets his half, and then 3 points on the album. If the album, when the album comes out, it's 3%.
Now
it's 50-50. I have a hard time believing that you get 50-50.
I don't think
air quotes under this.
Oh, okay. So it's really like
you get 50-50 after everyone else puts their hands on it.
After the company, depending on how the dealing is, the company's going to get their side for grand scheming everything, but you and the artist should split everything.
So in layman's term, you get 50-50 of 7%.
Yeah.
Right. As cold as that sounds.
Does
air quotes.
Does the artist's deal, like his deal, like his label deal, affect how you're getting paid? Because I know some of the newer artists are getting these like 360 deals.
So
and they're not the typical like I signed to a label type deal.
So whatever your price is and that you agree with is your price.
Right.
Whatever their agreement with the company is, that's them. You should already have set up or tell them, hey, I'm getting publishing, I'm getting a payment up front or something of that matter.
So basically in layman's term that the beat maker and the artist are generally two separate entities.
They're separate entities altogether.
Okay.
So like that's why you might see somebody like Timberland. He's not he might not be signed to that same label that the artist is on. So he's coming in to do work. Now, if that artist tanks, that's their problem. Timbaland's still gonna make his money regardless. You're gonna pay me up front. Now, if you don't make enough money back off your album to save yourself to make another album,
that's on you.
Sorry about it.
Because his agreement's probably more of a work for hire,
like
plus
work release type stuff.
Air quotes, yeah. Work
quotes.
For hire to a certain
I love
point.
that. That's gonna be the name of this episode. Air quotes.
But yeah, the producer's not affected by the artist's deal.
Man, that would suck.
You gotta be careful, dude, when you get into these like, I take 50-50. Well,
Oh,
now your success depends on another person, and that's scary, dude.
It's super scary, man. But that's why you have to tell them straight up, hey, I need this much, or I need to know what I'm getting. And a lot of times the company tries to go over your head and say, hey, we're gonna give you $3,000 and just sign here and you're gonna get that money. But then you might sign over your publishing that you should have got, but you're just paying for that $3,000. Say, hey, this is your work for hire. This is all that you want us to pay you up front, and all together, and you don't get publishing. You don't get any points.
Do you have anybody that gives you legal advice? I feel like if you're a producer nowadays and you don't have somebody you can trust to give you some like attorney type of advice when you're going through all these because it sounds like the few times I've talked to labels about getting signed, like as an artist,
Yeah.
I asked my dad and I was like, what do we do? And he said, you need to book a consultation with a lawyer and read that fine print because you could get screwed.
Number
really
one
fast.
thing, always have somebody to read the paperwork for. Read the paperwork yourself, but have somebody whose job is to read the paperwork.
Yeah.
Do it for you. Because when you get words like perpetuation through the universe and hereunto and do forth, you're like, okay, what's this?
We call that word salad, dude. They do it.
What?
They do it.
Word salad.
It's like genre salad.
Especially when they say something through perpetuity through the universe, you'll sit back like, okay. So
does that even mean?
if the Earth is destroyed and we have to move to Mars, I'm still buying under this situation.
I'm still getting paid if everything ends.
If the Earth gets sucked into a black hole, you will get your paycheck next Friday when I get paid.
As long as the Infinity Stones don't come together to make a multiverse, you're good on that contract.
As long as we don't make Shaggy mad and he uses more than 5% of his power.
What is up with those memes, dude?
I don't know, but they're the greatest.
It's like, I love
the
one
greatest thing possible.
Shaggy flexing about to throw down with Thanos in 2019. I'm like, what the fuck?
Or him choking Sasuke. Or there's one that says, you can't beat Shaggy at Yu-Gi-Oh! Because he draws Exodia on the first hand, and he doesn't even run Exodia in his deck.
One said, it was like of him pulling out the soul. Someone said, some people think this is CGI. No, this is him actually just pulling out the soul of actual stagehands. So then he lies, we're lost that day. It's ridiculous. But anyway, let's reel it back.
I can't look at Shaggy for more than 5 seconds.
Yeah, always have somebody that's going to have representation for you. Always get a lawyer once you do it professionally.
Have you ever so the way you were talking about it, you were saying that these A&R guys or the people who give you the contracts, they're kind of slimy about it. Do you think it's because they know that a lot of people aren't educated on the matter in terms of the business?
I'm not going to call them slimy. I would say in every interest in anything you do is to save as much money as you can.
Right. So
spend a little, make a lot.
There you go. So if you find somebody that doesn't have, a lawyer, everybody's supposed to have a good nature about themselves, but at the same time, that's not how the world works.
No.
So they will sit up and, if you're working with a young producer who's probably a bedroom producer who's made a hit for somebody, or just now made a hit and they got signed, they'll be like, hey, yeah, here's $3,000 or here's $2,000. They've never seen that amount of money, so they're ready to just sign then and there. And then the company's like, hey, we saved 50% of publishing that we had to give to that producer because they just want to be a work for hire that doesn't get any, residuals. And that's good for them because now that song could go, so many fucking streams or whatever. And then, the company's getting paid millions of dollars for it. And that producer only got paid $3,000.
Basically a penny. The same thing. I
Yeah.
think that almost happened with the guy who made the beat for Panda, designer.
Yeah,
They were able to renegotiate that contract, but
yeah.
what happened was he just sold apparently he sold all the rights for $200 to this guy, and then the song blew up, and he almost got screwed over because he sold it, but
Yeah.
he was able to renegotiate, and
But I
it worked
think
out for him.
I think he had it set up to where it was on his beat website or whatnot. And a lot of those websites will have like for lease or this is the exclusive, and the exclusive will be something like $200. But they don't know
Yeah.
what they're doing truly with it.
Some people don't know what an exclusive lease is, dude.
They don't.
And I think it's because they're desperate to get money, but at the same time, so how an exclusive lease works is you're basically renting something and it's yours in layman's terms. So if you
Renting
get that,
or buying?
okay, you're renting it because
Yeah.
it's that beat belongs to you for
However long
the
the
contract
contract
is.
is.
But after that time span, the original writer or the original owner of that IP has the right to take it back and resell it.
Oh, okay.
Right. And that scares off a lot of people because what they're thinking is like, oh, it's not really mine, so why would I buy it? So that's why a lot of these new beat makers, they just resort to selling exclusive, just selling the IP straight out, upright.
Yeah, because no local rapper, if it were to move any type of numbers, they're not going to pay the dude that made the beat,
No, they
residuals or royalties,
You think-
unless that producer like sends a subpoena or something like that, like something legal that they have to do.
Oh yeah.
But I mean,
But
any of the dudes that I know that move, I've had a few artists that can move like 50,000 plays, stuff like that. Very few. A lot of them are unknown.
Right.
But
Mhm.
I tried
air quotes.
to the artist I do like working with. I want to help them out, so I really want to like educate myself on this whole process, and especially the beat makers, because I know a lot of times those dudes get screwed.
Yes.
Well, it's because they're ignorant about the matter. That's the sad part too. It's not. Well, yeah, some of them it's their fault. I'll give them shit for that. But
Yeah,
at the same time, it's like if someone was there to help guide them through that process.
yeah. The information's out there, right?
Yeah.
It's just understanding the lingo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm.
That's all it is, dude.
So, Luke, you would recommend having a legal counsel with you to help you kind of digest what these terms and conditions are?
I
Through the
would
universe.
I would say this much, man. If you are trying to shoot for majors or at least an independent, artist that has some type of structure, you probably need to get a lawyer. Or if anything, you need to go on YouTube, look at some of these things about what publishing and royalties and, percentages are. So when you do, explain to them, hey, even if you're not, selling a beat to them, you're saying, hey, I know you're going to use this for promotional use. We still need to sign something, with splits for if this is repurposed. It's good to have some type of legal team or knowing some of the nomenclature of everything. So just be up on your knowledge.
I don't think do you know, Josh? Do you know if engineers, like recording and producing engineers, ever
You
got
don't
back
get-
end? I know they don't anymore, but I was wondering if they ever got any back end, like way back.
From what I've probed from James when he started and a little bit before then, you just got paid a day rate,
Okay.
and that was it.
Yeah.
You only got royalties if you were a producer on the track, you wrote something, or you were the artist. Like if you were a musician, you got paid like a day rate.
Mhm.
Mostly it was if you were like lyrics, if you wrote some lyrics or something, or like were a songwriter. Because I know in like country, a lot of the top country artists buy their songs. So there's a good chance there could have been like, they'll like kind of tamper with it and tweak some things, but like there's a person that like wrote this song. And he's like,
wrote meaning like
they
it was
wrote
recorded
this
and
song.
produced and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Lyrics produced,
Wow.
arranged.
Had it recorded,
Oof.
got somebody to mix it, They send it to a publishing company.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it works in hip hop all that well
It's
because I haven't dealt with enough major label talent.
yeah. It's kind of the same way. Like you said, the country world, pop world, and rap. Like now, what rap is doing, they've been doing it for a while now. Like if a producer produces it, he might also put a hook with it as well. And then maybe the rapper will go and write his verse around the full song. So a lot of the times, if you're trying to make placements,
Yeah,
you need the whole idea already
kind of mapped out.
conceptualized for the artist.
Because I know in the band world, most of the time, if they're asking me to produce their record, the songs are done.
Yeah.
I can count on 2 fingers how many times I've helped somebody like write the song because they did it in the studio. It's very rare because that gets expensive.
It is
real quick.
Oh yeah.
It's if you think it's expensive in Alabama, dude, it's ridiculous.
No, it's
it's ridiculous in bigger
Nashville.
markets, dude.
Yeah,
Like, when you get to your Nashville's, Atlanta's, New York's, or Los Angeles, dude, you got to pay a room rate and an
Yeah.
engineer rate.
yeah.
So let's say Los Angeles, okay, this studio somehow is able to run at $250 an hour. You still got to hire that engineer who's probably
that's
gonna
what like
run for like,
500 easy.
yeah.
An hour.
You still got to hire that
might
engineer.
be a day. If
Oh,
you
That's
you
still a
don't,
lot.
that's if you don't have a guy that can run that specific board, knows how to patch everything, and can run the gear, and knows if something goes down.
That-
Usually, you hire the engineer that's with that room
Mhm.
as backup.
Who will probably also run at like $130 an hour.
Yeah, like it's no joke.
Mhm.
50
The-
an hour minimum.
The label upfront pay is ridiculous, and you can guarantee they're gonna want that money back. Because I worked on a project for it was like 7 months. It was the better part of 2018 for me that I worked on one project every day for
Wow.
7 months. Now I had to tell them like, dude, I need a week off. Like, we gotta calm down. Because he was only putting out like a song maybe once every 6 to 7 weeks, and like,
Good.
And what
you're-
kind of artist was this?
It was a rapper.
Okay.
I mean, he
Goodness.
probably had he's got like 100 plus songs stockpiled. Whether they're good and would do well, to be seen. But
Air quotes.
yeah,
Air
you need to
quotes.
be like, if I was an A&R person, I wouldn't do that, because that, man, you burning money. I mean, I was happy because we were making money, but like,
maybe they're thinking at it from the perspective of, okay, if he blows it up, now he has all this ammo.
yeah,
Kind of
for
way. So
sure.
he's stockpiling.
He could have stockpiled at like 30 and been okay. He need to be touring. I didn't understand why the label didn't put him on a tour, because they did put him on a tour right now, and it's killing. It is killing. I would assume they're getting some of their money back, because they'll take like some of the ticket revenue that the venue doesn't take and some of the other stuff. Plus, they get all of his streams and his
Yeah.
YouTube plays and things like that.
Streams aren't even worth that much, to be honest. They're like worth
Right
0.0.
now.
Zero
Right now, they're
one.
not, but there's a bill going through the ether that is Congress.
Through the universe.
To the shutdown.
Yeah.
That's over now.
Okay.
It's
Air
over
quotes. Air quotes.
until February 15th.
Oh,
If
geez.
We
don't-
did it. America! Woo!
Yeet. No, there's a bill to raise the streaming rate for you to get paid, because right now
is it
on
gonna be 1 penny?
Spotify, I have an artist that I work very closely with. Like, I help him make his beats. I
Mhm.
then record him. I produce all his stuff. I mix it and master it for him. And I like got on his DistroKid page to see his analytics,
Mhm.
and like even the song of his that has like thousands of plays, I don't even think we've cracked a couple of dollars.
I think on Spotify, for a track to count as one sale, it has to stream at least 1,300 times or something.
It's
You know what I mean?
it's pretty
ridiculous.
high. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
high.
weird.
It's
It is
high, dude.
not. It's hard, dude. Even like your Post Malones, who were pulling millions of streams,
Yeah.
a day. Your Lil Pumps and people who are Ariana Grande's new single.
I don't
7
know.
rings.
7 rings, yeah.
Dude, oh, it's blowing.
It's dope.
Blowing
It's
up.
dope. I like it.
It's
We're
I
not
like
here.
it.
We're not here
Yeah.
to talk about personal taste. We are here to talk about the business.
all I'm saying is the dudes that made that beat making some money. If they got, I'm sure he got it. I don't know if it was a man or a woman. Whomever made the beat is probably killing. Grande, obviously, gonna make money off of it. I don't know who she signed to. Universal, probably
know,
something like
man.
that. Some major label
Yeah.
like that. I could just Google it.
I know for that beat maker though, the good thing,
Interscope is Universal. I
the
think.
good thing for that beat maker now is he can raise his prices.
Oh yeah.
That's always the best part. Think of it like renegotiating a contract
Yeah,
in a way.
I've always had a hard time just getting him to come in, and I have. I mean, I now have like ammo to say, hey, this is my products that I've worked on. But I mean, where we live, that semi doesn't matter
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
in the grand scheme of money.
Yeah,
They'll walk in a
Alabama's-
full blown Supreme Gucci Versace outfit that probably costs like $1,600.
I'll pay you next week.
Yeah,
When I get
won't
paid on
pay me
Friday.
the 130
2
to
years
book
from now.
two hours of studio time.
Mm.
I digress, though.
Maybe that stuff is leased, man. Maybe they got that Amazon.
They lease their clothes.
They lease the clothes, dude. They just walk around fucking naked when they're at home, dude. Because they don't have anything, dude. They just sleep on.
I mean, I walk around in
GTA
my underwear
characters.
at home.
They don't even have underwear. That's
You
leased
lease
too.
them from your dresser.
There's a lot. You have to swipe your credit card.
You got
to
to
get it
swipe your
open.
credit card, dude. You're late on the payments. Imagine getting a late payment because you can't pay for your own underwear, dude. That's the music industry, dude. I think people overestimate how much money you can make because they're looking at the big stars, dude. They're looking at the 1% of the 1% of the 1%. They're not looking at the regular working man, dude. Like your
Oh,
beat
yeah.
makers, your ghost writers,
Okay.
your engineers, all that stuff. Josh, you got some info?
Yeah, she's signed to Republic Records.
Which
I-
is
It's Universal.
that's
Yeah,
Universal.
it's-
Yeah.
Which
Universal has so many subsidiaries. I cannot keep track
they've
of all
bought.
of them,
Well,
dude.
I mean, they're buying people because
There you
I
go.
know in the realm of stuff I dabble in, most of the labels I know of are subsidiaries of. Is it UGM or UMG or something?
Yeah.
Universal Music Group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like
There's like the big 4 or the big
Yeah.
3 or something. Yeah.
Universal.
Sony.
Yeah, I don't know.
In-
yeah.
Interscope?
Warner Brothers.
Warner
Warner
yeah.
Brothers. That's the
Yeah.
one.
I thought that was
Ah.
the big three. I didn't ever heard of the big four,
Well,
dude.
I'm wrong then.
I don't know.
I don't know. I
Maybe
would
the
need
fourth
to-
one is Audio State. We
No,
just don't know yet.
not even.
UAB.
UAB.
We get calls all the time because like we have a label, but I don't know anything about it, to be honest.
Did some work for the label before, long time ago. Goodness.
I did some work with an Atlanta like small label.
Oh, I
A
know.
little too big for their
I know
britches,
this
but
one
it'd be
label.
like that.
I know I worked this one session where this label artist didn't show up, dude, and I got paid anyway. It was the best gig of my life. He didn't show up.
There's been a few label sessions where the artists they'll book like 4 or 5 hours and they'll not show up for 2 hours. So I just kind of sit here working on other stuff and getting paid.
Yeah.
You're getting
I mean,
paid.
it's fine because all we do is invoice them, and you know if we don't get paid, we just send them, hey, this is our legal team. You owe us money. If you don't send it to us in X amount of days, you know, we're under a contract right now and you're violating our contract. So it's about to get real bad.
Oh yeah.
Legal team. I need to read up more on that. Seems like a very good weapon in the old arsenal.
It's good to know about. It's good to know that kind of stuff because I think, especially when you're working in fields like this, it's extremely important to diversify your income.
Oh,
whether that's
dude.
only staying in the music industry or not, because right now, like, I'm gonna be real, I'm not making that much money off music. It's like be honest, it's like a good side job, but there ain't no way in fucking hell I'm making a living off this. So that's why I gotta throw money somewhere else, dude. I mean, would you agree with that, Luke?
I totally would agree, man. I put it like this on the production side of things. You know, a lot of people get stuck with saying, hey, I'm trying to make this beat for somebody. I'm trying to make placements. But recently for me, one of the, other side hustles in music is like making sound packs, man, or composition packs. Like a lot of other producers or air quote people that say that they're producers, they use, companies like Splice or Sounds to find loops. But then there's bigger producers that need loops as well. And I've been just getting to the whole make samples, or make stuff that sounds like samples to where now they don't have to go and, get clearance from another track that they're sampling. They can just go to me. I might say, hey, this is royalty free. You can buy this set of, allotment of samples or whatnot and pay me a certain price that's, pretty much lower than everybody else's. And then you don't have to come back for publishing or stuff like that. So that's one thing I've been getting to a whole lot lately. And it's
So you're kind of just making some like loop presets,
yeah,
like GarageBand. Oh, here we go.
Like
drag and drop.
Some of it might be like loops, man, like a piano riff or a guitar riff. Some of it might be like, okay,
just an 808 sample that you made.
That could
or
be
like a kick sample pack.
Some of it's kick samples. Some of it might be a whole composition where I might get like some of the old reverbs or some of the old dat boards to make a old 70s sounding or 60s sounding track. So now that they don't have to go to another track where they're digging for something, have to get it cleared or all their publishing is gone.
Gotta go and get the copyright. And
all they can just come to me, hey, I want to pay you this much for that, and I don't have to worry about you clearing it now. So that's a side hustle I've been getting to a lot lately.
Where do you market this, and like how do you sell
this? There's a few companies like I said, Sounds or Splice.com. Okay. You can register with them, and they'll ask you a few questions like, have you done this before? What boards are you using? How are you mixing it? But after they hear your stuff, you could just make guitar riffs and make a package of like, 20 different riffs.
Like just tempo markings
and key signatures. And then you could sell those loops. Or there's a few of them. There's one called Drum Broker. I have a friend and he just got into it last year during November. And he's been very successful with it. Since like November, October, he's made like, I want to say 200 sales, from November to December, October to December. And like his packs might go for like $30. And that's good, quick revenue. And once they're out, you just got to sit back. If people, see the advertisement for it, they'll go buy it if it's good.
If they hear it in a track they like.
Yeah, but
I want that sample. Like Splice, I know when you register with Splice, you pay like a monthly fee and you get a certain amount of downloads.
Yeah, see, that's if you're actually just downloading stuff from Splice. Now, if you're like a sound designer, then I don't know what the situation is or the algorithm or how much downloads of your package it is, but people need these guitar riffs or piano riffs or synths or 808 packages to where, I'm just now touching the surface on it, but a lot of my contemporaries and friends are making like a quick 2 G's a month off of just doing it.
Nice. That's rent.
That's quickly.
That's rent. That's more than rent.
Oh, yeah.
That might be rent
bills.
That might be rent in New York. That's like half a rent in New York.
There you go. But it helps out with me. Like I'm finally getting my website up, and it's going to be called newcrowdmusic.com.
Great name.
Yeah.
Clever.
It is. It's
clever.
Yeah. It is. It's kind of crazy. Like my name's Luke Crowd, of course, and then one of the other members in my production group is Walter Newell.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Just sandwich it together.
Nice.
But we've been doing it,
Nice.
just personally with different producers, and it's been picking up. But now we're trying to just launch it on a website and hopefully get on the site I was telling you about called Drum Broker. But we're in talks with Splice right now. We're trying to get some things up. But yeah.
Is it tough to be working like as a team? I know they're a popular producer crews like Take a Day Trip and
Yo,
the guys that did Ariana Grande's.
Or
Thank you.
groups like Brass
brass
Tracks.
tracks.
Yeah.
Yo,
I've always wondered how that like dynamic can be. Is it just like you do some of it and then he'll do some, or like you bring this idea to the table and then he like
it varies, man. Sometimes, cause like I'm not even gonna much lie. Probably this month we haven't had a chance to really get in the studio together because I had some family issues with death, and he's had some things. But he'll shoot me an idea, and it might just be some crappy piano chords and a hi-hat. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? But then I hear something within it, and then I'll just make the rest of the beat around it. Or I might send him a loop of something and say, hey, man, just do what you can with it. And then we'll piece it together like that. But when we do get together, he might start with the drums, or I might start with just a chord of something, and then it'll be almost like WWF wrestling. Hey, I just elbow dropped him, tag in, make a quick little slam, tag you back in. It's a weird dynamic, but you just the workflow just varies on how the day goes, man.
It probably gets annoying sometimes because I used to do that with another beat maker, but sometimes we had just two different ideas. So think of it like you ever seen that cartoon Cat and Dog?
Oh yeah,
It turns into that a little bit where it's like we want to go this way, but he wants to go that way.
I think when it happens like that, since I've known this guy for at least 8 years, and there's other members in SWAT team. I think once we get the ball rolling and we see that there's a chance of stuff to kind of, tug, somebody finally just takes the lead and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to let you get it. We're going to go through 5 more ideas anyway. Let's see what you got with it. And in the end, just give me what you got, and I might delete what you already had because I thought it was crap anyway. But
honesty is a good thing to have, dude.
Oh, you gotta be honest, man.
Think of it like marriage, Josh. That's all it is. It's like,
well, I mean, because I'm trying to relate the producer team to like being in a band, because it's very much like before I could play the guitar. I mean, I only play drums, so like the guitar player would come in with this riff, and I would have ideas in my head, be like, man, that just really sucks. But there's the idea is there, and it could be something really cool. And I never could like quite articulate what I wanted him to do, just cause, or like guitar players wanting drum parts and them just spouting off some nonsense, and it's like
mouth drumming.
Yeah, and it's like, what?
Give me like
yeah, or in mixed notes, they'd be like, can you change this fill? And they'll like type out and it's like,
wait, like type it out?
I've gotten typed out notes where they wanted me.
Yeah, I'm gonna transcribe this drum solo and just like mouth noises.
Yeah,
try it out.
But once I could play more instruments, I could at least noodle out my ideas and show them. It made writing a lot easier, and I guess like with producers, since you both can play keys, right? Is that you?
I play keys, air quotes, and drums. He's more of a drum programmer and I guess I would say sample chop more than anything. On our side, I would say it's more like sports or basketball, where like I might be Kobe. I can shoot, I can dribble. And he might be Shaq. And his whole thing might be dunking, blocking, rebounding. Sometimes you might get Kobe down there trying to do some post moves, but he knows not to get too much in that realm because he's going to be out of his game. And it's give or take, but in the end, you're trying to win or come out with the best music.
Yeah. I do know, like, some of the groups I've worked with in the past, like, writing together is really rough. It's like,
oh yeah,
somebody wants to be like head honcho, because there's in a band situation, there's always the one person that's the leader, that will make the final decisions and will say, no, we're gonna do it like this, even if it sucks, or even if it's a terrible idea. They're gonna say, we're doing it like this, and the other dudes or other ladies are just so beaten down from being in this semi type of relationship that's just like, whatever, dude.
So think of it like this, because that's why there's so much rap singles out, right? Because it's just one guy.
Yeah, and
He moves fast. It's like comparing a small business with 10 employees versus a corporation with 10,000. Obviously, the little guy's gonna move so much faster and probably,
of course,
is able to put out so much more because he doesn't gotta go through that many people.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to
on that note, that's why you can put a rap single out, make it, record it, mixed, mastered in the same
day.
Yeah. You cannot do that with a band. Like, if you were to put a rap artist versus like my band, it would take us like 2 days at least to write it, mull over the parts, give me time to write drums to it, and then us chop up the song, write the instrumental out, put everything together, then give it to the vocalist to write the vocals, him come in, start recording, and then us go through writing vocal melodies and harmonies and background vocals and gang vocals and all that. And then I have to edit everything and make sure it's all time aligned and in the same key, tune the vocals, and then mix it, send it to the band, do mix notes for 2 to 3 revisions, maybe more, maybe less, depending on the song. Then master it. You know that?
Yeah, meanwhile, Timmy over here just like pushed out 60 singles.
Yeah. It's insane. Like, now there are some bands that can write a song, record it in the same day, and it's ready to go. But
depends on the genre.
Yeah.
Genre specific situation.
Within the band setting.
Yeah. If you're writing like a song that's gonna have one section's in 7, the next section's in 4. Oh, we're back in 7. Now we've switched to 5. Like, there's no way. That's gonna take time because you gotta record drums, comp drums, record bass, comp the bass, record guitars, rhythm guitars, which means you have to probably record it at least twice, the whole song, comp it, then overdub rhythm guitars where the parts that you have either like chug sections or stuff like that, you want it to sound bigger, so you stack some more on top, then do all the lead stuff, keyboard, synthesizers, like all the programming type things, then vocals. Like, it's so hard because like some bands get mad that it's taken so long. It's like, well,
what did you expect?
You got 5 people and they all move at different paces.
Yeah, nobody agrees with each other. So.
Oh, dude, it's so bad. This band that I'm in right now, it's really good because I worked with them on their like main project. The thing we're doing is kind of more of a side band. Like, we just do it for fun and for the memes mostly. But like their main thing, I work with them, so I know how they work and I know how to manipulate the process to make them work faster.
Oh, you know how to manipulate the people.
Hey, that's not a bad thing. You know,
I know how to work to their advantage that we can get it done faster and at their like maximum capability.
Yeah,
and it has sped up the process. But man, we've been writing since June of 2018, and we just now finished our first single.
Good gracious.
That's just how it moves. Like, sometimes.
By then, Timmy has released 300 singles that have 2 views.
By this time, Timmy 4.0 has come out. The 4th version of Timmy has come out and put out 300 singles. But it's just hard because, like, the quality, there's like the good and the bad of working with people. Because then you have like kind of quality filters that says, "Hey, Josh, that part sucks, and we need to redo this." Because, you know, after the 400th time I've listened to this song, I'm roasted. Like, my candle has burnt. And it's just nice to have those extra dudes be like, "Hey, we need to redo this. Can you hear this, like, this one note that's kind of out?" And it's like, "Oh, I need to fix that." You know, with like little Timmy putting out the same song 500 times.
The same song 5. Oh, this is a random note, dude. Luke, have you noticed that some rappers are just rapping off beat now? It's like really sloppy.
It's a meme.
Look, they try to make it.
Meme.
Look, they're trying to say it's like, "Oh, I'm just doing that Dilla swing." No, you're not. You just don't know how to fucking count, dude. Like, that's what it sounds like. You don't know how to keep time in your head, dude. drinking so much goddamn lean, dude. What the fuck?
To be politically correct, you know.
There is no political correctness,
Yeah,
Luke.
well, no,
let your anger out, Luke.
No. See, I can't do that, man, because you know all art is relative. But
yeah, air quotes.
I mean, but I have noticed that, man. Like I said, you'll get that one guy who's super good at doing it, but it makes sense why they're doing it. And then you'll get 5 or 10 other people trying to do the same thing, and it doesn't make any sense. It's like making Coca-Cola. You're not gonna be able to make Coca-Cola anymore if you're somebody new. You're gonna make.
You can make Pepsi.
You can make RC Cola.
You can make Sam's Cola.
There you go. You feel me?
You make Wally's
Cola. You
Cola.
can make Dr. Cola, but you're not going to make
Mr. Cola.
You're not going to make Coca-Cola. And I think
gender neutral cola.
There you go.
Non-binary cola.
Non-binary.
But what happens is
I'm sorry.
But there are rappers now that are going to rapping off beat, or they're like way behind, you know, whatever the 4 count is, man, and it's weird. Now, some are good with it, but
some of them it's just an accident.
Yeah, for me, there you go. But for some reason it works. But for me, there's a lot of them that don't understand what they're doing, and they're trying to emulate that one guy who's found his niche, and is.
I like to always think of it like you know what I'm saying when I say the Dilla swing, right? Because Dilla would do his drums like
it'd be off kiltered, off beat just a little bit.
But there's the thing is like if you push that too much, then it becomes really stupid. Like if you pay attention to a drummer like I think Kareem Riggins, like he does the Dilla swing very well, and it doesn't sound forced. But if you hear other people try to do the Dilla swing, it just sounds extremely forced, and it just gets worse, dude.
Yeah.
So I guess in that sense, you can't really push. It's good to go off the rules, but be careful.
You have to know the rules.
Right.
You have to be able to do it.
Well, actually, you don't need to anymore, dude. I could just talk about.
You need to be able to do it to the grid before you start, you know, putting your own flavor on it. Because I heard a track that you and Katwan and a couple of other of your buddies did, and it had that kind of J Dilla swing, and it was so sick because it was done right.
Yeah.
It was done in a tasteful manner. Like, you noticed it, but it was the right kind of, you noticed it like when you're eating some food and there's like this little bit of spice and you're like, ooh.
You're like that, ooh.
That is, ooh. Yeah.
Is that cayenne? That's cayenne.
Turmeric?
Yo, is that salt?
Salt's not a flavor.
I can taste this one salt, dude, and it just helped enhance my mac and cheese experience, dude.
Man. I'm just going to dip. I'm going to eat some mac and cheese with my salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper, dude.
That's the same with any like people who play like in odd time signatures. Like if you can mask it to where it doesn't sound like you're playing in 2319.
It's like you have to make it composed through, and you have to listen to the language, you know, and actually understand what makes. You know, because a lot of the time 7, 8, and 5, whatever, it just sounds like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You know what I mean? Instead of like creating a real musical idea that evolves and develops, and you know,
and
even some of the greatest writers, and you know, I'm gonna say in like metal work, that's where it's the most seen. It's like if you like make a dish and you just put a fuck ton of one spice, and it's just all that it is. You know what I mean? Like if you just have the same 7/8 riff going over and over again.
Yeah.
Isn't there a genre? Oh, my bad. There's a genre where there's this group called Mouse on the Keys. I don't know if they still do stuff, but they had this one record where one of the songs, they were all in different type signatures, but at one point it will all make sense. It's called math rock or something. I don't know. I'm not versed.
Don't get me started on math rock.
Yeah.
Oh, I could. There are some bands that are just like they're so out there. What were they called?
Mouse on the Keys.
Mouse.
Yeah,
that name sounds familiar.
Okay, so let's.
Is that what they sound like?
No, they're insane, dude. But anyways, so here's a funny question: what do y'all think's gonna come after streaming? I want you just say whatever you. I just wonder what y'all think. Dude.
This streaming?
What comes after streaming, dude?
I think cassettes are gonna come back.
You think cassettes are gonna come?
Well,
Fuck
you
outta
know,
here.
yeah, I don't know if it was MIT. I saw this on Reddit at
Oh, yeah.
5:30 this morning when I had woken up because the dog at my fiance's house was barking, and so I was, what you do at that early in the morning, you thumb through Reddit, and I can't remember if it was MIT. I think it was. They were like laser beaming audio into people's ears. I need to I need to.
What?
I'm gonna Google this
You
real
went,
fast.
you went very
They were
left field.
laser beaming
Yeah,
audio.
it was like they were using
Yeah.
lasers. I think I'm gonna Google it right fast. So
How
I don't
does that
sound like a
work?
moron. MIT.
Imagine going to a
Laser.
concert and like you know how like, they have the lasers that go up and down.
You talking about
The
the lights?
visual, yeah, light, but
Instead
it's
it's
like just
lasers?
sound.
Instead, it's lasers.
Yeah.
now?
You're just
MI
getting beamed
yeah,
with
okay.
sound from the
So
PAs.
Can't be
the
good for you,
article
dude.
is from Digital Trends.
Okay.
MIT's new laser audio system delivers sound that only you can hear.
Oh, there's a technology like that. It's a military technology
Oh,
that
no.
was developed 8 years ago. And what it was it was this device. It looked like a radar dish, but it was designed for like when they're looking for like a perpetrator or a shooter in a very large crowd. And obviously they can't nuke it because they're gonna kill the whole crowd. This device would do something similar to what you're talking about, Josh.
Is that a bad thing?
And what that device would do is it would pinpoint the perpetrator and it would hit him with a really loud pitch. But only him to where right.
I've lost control of
Hit him
my
with a brown
bowels.
but, but it was crazy
It's
because
him.
it-
He's got the brown stain.
but it would only hit him. And I
That's-
think it's funny because military technology, it doesn't get in the hands of public for at least 5 years, at least. So I think that
It's gonna
makes
be
sense.
like a prank video.
Joey salads.
Joey Sal- I'm doing a social experiment
flow.
today. What happens if I go to the hood and just call them all the N-word with a hard R? Relax, bro. It's just a prank. It's
Nope.
just a prank, bro.
Joey salads has now done.
You know what I really think is going to happen with streaming? I think streaming is going to stay there, but it's going to be just like Netflix or Amazon to where now you have artists. You know how like Netflix has like original series now?
Yeah.
Spotify or Apple
They're going to have
Music
their own
is-
artists now.
It's surprising
Ooh.
that they haven't started like their own label.
But see, I think the reason they haven't done it is because they got to make sure their streaming numbers count the right way. And what's going to happen once they have a set streaming number for everybody, then they're going to be like, okay, we got little Timmy. He signed to
6.0.
yeah, you're right.
Timmy 6.0.
Timmy
Asterisk.
6.0.
Timmy 4 and 5 have
Yeah.
faded into obscurity.
He signed to
They're
Apple
janitors
Music
now.
Records. And I think that's what's going to be the next thing, man, because it just makes sense on the visual side of stuff. Because now you got Amazon Prime shows that are originally for Amazon. You're going to have more artists that are like, hey, I'm signed to Tidal. I'm signed to
Hello.
Rhapsody or Spotify. And they're going to
Napster makes a comeback.
because I think there you go. But I think, the regular record label situation is dying out anyway because
Yeah,
people
they
can
are.
do stuff independently, but you still need a streaming site.
yeah, you still got to have distribution.
That's-
I think that's
Yep.
what's going to change.
And that's the thing. It's Spotify, YouTube, iTunes. You got distribution handled now. You don't got to go to no middleman. You don't got to go to a label.
Yep.
Technically, you could just post that shit, and that's your distribution. If it blows up, there you go. You save money on
SoundCloud.
distribution. Yeah.
So what happens when you get that whole thing, the whole SoundCloud behind you for a whole, project of yours? I mean, they already control mostly all the stuff that you're listening to. You go to YouTube, oh, listen to this Apple, Apple Radio, so and so and so. But now you're on YouTube or Apple or SoundCloud directly. You're going to get so much more plays, which makes streaming points. And then you're going to get so much more people listening to you because you're directly on Apple. Once you get an Apple
Yeah.
phone, you're going to have Timmy point.
it's going to be like that time U2 put out that
0.6.0.
album and it was automatically on your phone.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. That was
That was so annoying.
there was a big controversy about it because it was like, there's a bunch of homophobic people, dude. It was like, what's this man doing laying on this man's dick on my phone? That guy did.
Well, I was just mad because I was like, I don't like you two.
Yeah,
I don't want this
I
record.
was like, yo,
Yeah.
who the fuck is this? Bro, my dad was like that. He just like, I never download this. What the fuck is this? I was like, I don't know.
Juan, why you no doctor?
Here's what I'm gonna think is gonna happen after streaming. I
Yeah.
think because we're all moving to, in this industry at least, in everything, everyone wants more for less. We could see that
True.
in the past 40 years, budgets have cut down tremendously for artists.
Except for the GOP.
Well, yeah, but yeah, what's the national debt right now for the GOP?
It's in the trillions.
It's like 21 trillion or something.
I don't think it's that bad. I thought it was like maybe 4 or 5. I don't know.
I don't know, dude. Let's look it up before I go on this tangent, dude. Let's look it up. What's the
Before
national
the
US
Donnie
debt?
T followers come after us with pitchforks and MAGA hats.
I don't think they would, dude.
On where are we?
Hmm?
We're in
We're
Yeah.
in Woodlawn.
Attaboy.
Air quote,
That
air
doesn't
quote,
mean
air quote.
anything.
You guys see that video about that, like those teenagers wearing the "Make America Great Again" hat, like in that like Native American dude?
Okay, so here's what you know the other
Oh,
side
there
of
was
that
some-
story, right?
I'm not actually. I know of it, but I'm not familiar.
Okay, so here's what happened. Supposedly there was another group of Black Islam males on the
Yeah.
other side ridiculing the group, and they were calling them like a bunch of, they were just saying faggot. They were calling them a bunch of faggots.
Mhm.
So they were laughing about that at first. So what happened was, apparently, the Native American veteran got caught in between the two. So the kid up front, like, he's just stuck in a really awkward situation. Like, okay, I got 4 dudes behind this guy calling me a faggot and saying that all gay people should die. And now I have another guy in front of me, like, he's there for a completely different reason. So what happened was, in this outrage culture, right? You saw how quick people jumped on that shit.
Yeah.
They jumped on it that quick. It's, what am I trying to say? What am I trying to say besides people are fucking stupid? What else am I trying to say? But that's
you were right on.
That it was like
it's like
misrepresented.
21.
Holy fuck! It's 21?
I do DOS believe
21.
it is.
I thought it was 4 or 5 also, but wow.
Yo, the student
It
debt right now.
jumped $1.2 trillion last year.
Yo,
From
the student
what I'm reading.
student debt
Oh,
is at 1.8 trillion, I think. It's stupid, man.
that might have been a false thing because this one says the U.S. government, for its part, owes $5.73 trillion, mostly via Social Security and federal pension funds. The Reserve owns 2.38. I don't know, man.
I don't know, dude.
These are some stupid large numbers.
I can't comprehend anything over like.
Well, you know,
1,000.
1 million seconds last like 11 days. 1 billion seconds last 31 years. So, like, think about that.
Whoa.
Hmm.
Hey, 11.
A million seconds last 11 point some odd days, and then 1 billion seconds last 31.7 years. I believe that's the
Good
the
gracious.
thing.
I guess
Wow.
another
so
thing.
that to put the obscurity between the two. That's the
That's
best
ludicrous.
You know what's
ludicrous speed.
You know what else is crazy, dude? Think about the universe, dude. If you got a piece of sand from the Sahara Desert and put it up to the sun and realize that's a fraction of the whole universe, think about that, dude.
I can't.
I can't comprehend it, dude. But anyways, I'm off topic. So going back to the whole guy smirking, right?
There's like 4 different stories that come out.
Yeah,
no.
oh,
Anyways.
that's why
They're all related.
Yeah.
This all gonna make sense. This all gonna make sense.
The
Go-
universe and the sand.
universe,
the
the
kid, right?
specialty of the
Math
universe.
rock.
It's like those. It's
math
like
rock.
those memes where you get the dude that should be on like a gent record label, and it's like he's holding like 7 different universes in his hands, and it's just glowing. And you're just waiting here.
Okay.
Down.
So, yo, going back to the Native American guy, what did I say? I said people are fucking stupid because they're so driven by emotions instead of stepping back and saying, hey, this doesn't seem right. You know, that kind of deal. So, I guess my opinion on it is it taught me a lesson, a very important lesson I think everyone should know is whenever you see something new, let the other people jump in first and see what happens. Let the other idiots run into the cave and see if they get mauled by a bear first. That kind of deal.
It
Now,
was last weekend,
Evolution.
right? That kind of went down, or was it 2 weekends ago?
okay, I think it was last week it blew up, and then like
I saw it for the first time, I think 2 weeks ago, and then I started seeing people actually posting like corrections about a week
Because
ago.
they in general, outrage happened like over the weekend, and then Monday, all these articles started flooding about like, oh, that's right. There's like another side to this story. It's not one sided, because the kid did an interview and he said the only thing I could think to do was to just stand there and not say anything. And then because the old guy,
He was telling him like it was,
He was just
white
doing-
Europeans go away or something. I think I heard. I don't know if that's
That-
true.
I think that was the. I'm not sure. I also heard that was said, but I know the first group that was screaming all those things at the kids
Right.
was going crazy, and then the older Indian guy was just doing chants or
Just
prayers.
there.
Right.
Prayers.
Wrong place at the wrong time for
The kids.
yeah.
They got and the dude. It was just a situation that was doomed.
It was doomed. And watch a new report come out, like behind the Black Muslim group, there's like 20 old Asian ladies just screaming in the back about something
Oh, no.
like, hey, this bitch owes me money from Chinese chess, which he never paid. So, all right,
Damn.
let's go back.
Like
Let's
a
go
math
back.
rock.
All right, let's go back to streaming. What I think is going to happen with streaming. So I was going on a tangent about how everything we want more for less.
Mm-hmm.
You said it yourself. Beat makers now, you don't get 5,000 anymore. You get around maybe 1,000, 2,000, maybe.
Yeah.
Same with engineer day rates. They used to be ridiculous, but now they've dropped significantly. I think streaming is because people demand more and there's more supply. I think there's going to be less money in music overall, to the point where you're making basically almost nothing. That's what I think.
You think
That's
it'll turn
bleak.
into more like almost like I'm an artist, but I'm making like minimum wage, like my bro over here who working at Mickey D's, slinging them cheeseburgers and trying to fix the ice cream machine that never works.
I think that's what's gonna happen, dude. And we've seen jobs go away, like your gas. What is it?
Gas
Serviceman,
attendant.
That's gone. Think about those people who worked in, like, when you had to patch phone lines in. They ain't there anymore. So
Big
pretty
facts.
soon, well, this is a very natural progression. Jobs go away. So I just think in terms of music, right? I think what comes after streaming, or the next evolution of streaming, is going to get to a point where nobody can make money off it. And now you're very afraid that what might happen is the government might step in and try to save the industry, which that's not a good thing. You kind of saw what happened with General Motors, because they had to save. The government stepped in to save General Motors because there were so many jobs that were dependent on it. And what did the guys do with the money? They bought a fucking yacht. They didn't fix anything.
Yeah.
But they're still there.
I
know.
think the entertainment industry is different enough that might not happen, just because like people are willing to shell out stupid money to be entertained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at
But that
professional sports, like millions of dollars are being dumped into that, and like people make money. Like those crews, those like production crews who do like football games are making a killing.
the A1s on ESPN crews, I think their day rate's like $1,200.
Yeah, they're
Goodness.
killing it. And I think the artists who are good and that become brands, like your Beyoncés, your Ariana Grandes, your insert popular male artists, your Biebers at the times,
Right.
when he was at the height of his popularity, that dude was making so much money that he didn't know what to do with it. Your Justin Timberlakes can go out on the road for easy 200 grand. Easy. Starting out. And I think with this next evolution of streaming, maybe the bar gets raised
I would hope so.
because if what you're saying comes to fruition,
Yeah.
some company like Spotify or Apple, you sign with Apple, you'll get screwed either way. So I mean, that's just how Apple is. But if Spotify is gonna put you on their roster and put,
Yeah.
I feel like they're filtering for crap is gonna be unbelievable. It's
Well-
not gonna be like these indie record labels that are trying to get their business off the ground. Spotify is already
Established.
Yeah.
a thing.
I think what would happen is that you're not going to get any middle. You're going to get people that are really branded off, and people that are not getting any brands at all. There's not going to be anybody in the middle to where it's like, hey, we can tour, and we know, we got, a certain amount of money from a big label, helping us out. I think it's going to be, you're going to be fully branded, or you're going to be just fully independent.
Oh, okay. So there's not gonna be like your kind of mid-range artists
Yeah.
who are like opening for the
Yeah,
big people.
I think a lot of the mid-range artists are going to start to die out if it comes out the way, like I was saying, the Netflix of audio starts to happen.
I don't know. Netflix has some pretty mid-range.
They do, but they're paying for a certain style, and
They are spending a few $1 billion on original, and they're spending more in 2019 than they even did in 2018.
Wow.
From the articles that I have read on new shows because Disney may do the same thing. I feel like that would be
because DC, just did it to where they're taking all their stuff off of a lot of streaming places like Netflix and Amazon.
Disney has taken a lot of the Marvel stuff off. Disney has already taken, I think, all of the Disney movies off Netflix because Disney is starting their own.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen. I think besides the Spotify's and Rhapsodies and all them, you're going to get the independent companies that are just going to have their roster, and they're going to find their own streaming situation as well.
They'll probably just pay like a yearly fee to just put it on. Because I feel like the distribution people, like your TuneCore, CD Baby, DistroKids,
Yeah,
I don't think they'll go away. I think they'll be the new middleman for these new independents that need to get that music on Spotify,
true.
Apple Music, Tidal, all that crap. You still will have to pay somebody that can put your stuff on those sites along with yours, because there's so many. I did not realize how many streaming websites there are.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's like
Oh yeah.
thousands.
Didn't Spotify do something saying now anybody can basically upload their content and stream?
I don't think so. I think you have to have a distribution center.
So you
like-
still gotta have distribution.
you
can't just,
still
like-
got to have like a CD Baby or a TuneCore to do it for you.
Right, so
I don't think you can take your own.
So what I'm saying, it's not like a SoundCloud. It's not like
No.
open the floodgates
No,
kind of deal.
It's not SoundCloud. How SoundCloud is still.
We had this discussion last time, dude. Like, how SoundCloud still thing, dude?
I think they did start doing ads. You get ads on SoundCloud now.
Yeah,
I
you
think
do
it's
get
the
ads.
clout. Because they've had so many massive artists come off of SoundCloud. It's just like the clout of if I put my stuff on SoundCloud, I could become the next insert famous hip hop artist.
That goes back to the evolution of technology, man. If I don't need to get somebody to distribute it for me or play guitar or engineer, if I can do it all myself and I don't have to be on Spotify or something, let me just put it on SoundCloud. Everything is, do it yourself these days.
God.
The DIY movement has done its thing.
Yeah, and it
Ever.
makes for a lot of people that aren't masters in whatever field that they're doing stuff in, or whatever instrument or genre that they're in now.
Yeah, it goes away. I mean, think of it. I mean, how many swordsmiths do you see around? We don't kill each other with
Not
swords.
nearly
We just
enough.
shoot each other.
I know about five.
There are
of them.
I
know
have
about
a
five.
forge
I'm just lying.
forge in my garage type
Quotes.
dudes. There's a whole TV show on. It's called Forged in Fire.
Yeah, but
Or-
but
I
you
think
don't
that's
you
what
don't see Walmart like, I'm gonna sell you this claymore from this smith, dude. Like,
That would be
Here's-
that
here's-
would be insane. I guess so. There are those niche shops.
right. So that's what I'm
For the
saying. like-
LARPers, really.
I'm saying like
Live action role play.
I'm saying like the
With my
stuff like
PVC
we do,
pipe wrapped in tape.
like in terms of engineering and producer, it's gonna start becoming more niche. Like just because the advancement of technology. I mean,
Yeah.
when look, here's the crazy thing. What if someone came up with a plugin that mixes for you?
They do. Lender.
No, that's
That's
a mastering
mastering.
service.
Oh,
I'm talking about they
You're
mix
right.
for you, but that's real close to it. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't
It's real
know, man.
close.
I've A/B'd I sent a song to LA to get mastered. I sent my mix. The artist was like, "Well, let's send it to Grundman to get mastered." You know, that studio is pretty standard to get your stuff mastered by. And I ran the same mix through Lander, and it was not even close to his master. Like all those ads I see on YouTube about Lander, what it does with the mastering, man, just gives the record more beef. No, it doesn't. It just makes it louder.
But it's apparently it's a software that learns the user by what they send in. Apparently, that's what I heard.
That's a load of crap.
No, that's what I heard. Like
I've heard it too. It's a load of crap.
I've seen users send in the same mix, and it sounds slightly different from each other.
I'll pick the mastering engineer over.
I'd pick the mastering engineer too, but I'm just saying, like, how close are we to like that program just being the AI and just doing everything better? You know what I mean? We're getting pretty close.
Yeah,
30 years.
Yeah, I was to say we're still a bit off. We may see it in our lifetime.
I mean, maybe 10 years. Who fucking knows, dude?
I don't know. There's something about the human ear.
I think you'll never, like you said, the human ear and stuff that's cooked on the stove or in the oven tastes way better than the microwave to me.
Right, it does.
Big facts.
But to us, because we care about our craft. I'm talking about those fucking plebeians out. They don't give a fuck. They don't.
Those
know
men playing World of Warcraft.
They don't know the difference. Look, I'm always gonna get shit. I'm talking about the average person. Okay, here's a blunt way of putting it. They don't know the difference between a steak that's microwaved and one that's cooked sous vide.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what opening the floodgates and the advance with technology
I think that's what's made Lander and all those AI mastering things. Like, it feels like they just came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
all at the same time. Like, I never heard of any beta testing or anything like that.
You're right.
It was just like one day they had exploded. Because like, I get it. I get who they cater to, because it's like $30 and it masters your song. And I dabble in mastering. Like, I'm not a mastering engineer by any stretch of the means. I won't even call myself a mix engineer. I'm learning, but
yeah, same here.
Like I said earlier, like, just because you have the Chris Lord Algae plugins or the UAD artist plugins, just because you use their presets on like a kick drum or, you know, a vocal, does not make your mix or master as good as the person. Like, there's still something about like your ear.
You need to know how to use those tools.
I understand that, Josh. I stand with you 100% on that. What I was
trying to
say, the plebeians and how close we are to that. Think about it, dude. Think about remember the last time we talked about that robot Reaper that would just go eat dead bodies off the battlefield?
Oh, right.
Like, think about it.
At CES this year, there were multiple cars that were driving themselves. Like, Tesla had one. What was the name? Marquise Brownlee did a video, and there was a car. He did not, like, it did a whole route, like, and he did not drive in it.
Yeah.
Casey Neistat did a video about the Tesla driving us. Like, how far are we from not having to drive our car?
Really close.
Like, planes have autopilot.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Like,
but the pilot needs to be there to make sure.
Less things to collide with, potentially, in the sky.
I don't know, man.
Maybe.
But when you're getting into that type of physics, like getting a bird, like the wings, when they get caked with enough insects, changes their aerodynamics, and like aviation companies are losing millions of dollars because of fuel. That's unimportant at this moment.
There's a saying before you go. There's a saying like, you want to know how to become a millionaire? Be a billionaire and invest in airlines. That's what they say. That's how you be a billionaire.
That's pretty funny. But I mean, yeah, like I'm sure for the average Joe who eats his boogers in a Jello cup,
a can of pineapples, dude.
Oh, gross!
That's the good stuff. Salt and pepper.
People who eat pineapple on pizza.
I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to offset the sweetness with it, but you're getting pineapple pizza from like a Pizza Hut, dude. You can't tell the difference from the grease, dude. It just tastes like grease.
Or Papa John's or whatever.
Yeah.
I can't have pineapple, so it doesn't matter.
Are you allergic?
Yeah.
Dang.
But I'm sure the AI mastering, I feel like it's still a while off, just because of that little bit of gap, like when we were talking about the amp simulations earlier. Like there's just something programmers have not gotten. Like there's this hump that, oh, we're there and we're climbing. We just haven't made it over the hump to where now it doesn't matter.
Yet.
It's real close. We're steadily climbing.
I mean, think about it. 150 years ago, we were riding horses and shooting each other with muskets.
Well, we're still riding horses and shooting each other.
Just not muskets.
It's not
Now
muskets. Now it's some shit like that, dude. What about the cars, dude? I'm still gonna be driving a car, dude. I just like that feeling of driving, dude.
No,
You can't tell me you don't appreciate like a Challenger or something.
No, I'm
Like
to
a
the point where I
supercharged
want to
moped.
be dematerialized and then rematerialized in an instant. I'm over it. I hate
man.
driving.
Yeah, that's dangerous, dude. Would you be the first one to try it, dude?
Oh no.
Dematerialize and
No,
materialize
because
in a place?
I'm not rematerializing. They're not getting that right on the first try. Not a chance.
What if they tested it on like millions of rabbits and rats,
no,
dude?
still not.
You're
That's not a
If you're the
human.
first, you will receive a $500 million paycheck.
That doesn't mean anything if I'm
Dead.
if I
That's what
don't
it-
exist.
Dude, that's where they get you, dude. And then they'll get you sign another contract.
I'm smarter than your average
Perpetual
pleb
through the
playing WoW.
universe.
Perpetually through the universe, you will receive this money.
I am the universe.
Air quotes, you will receive
Shaggy
this money.
will breathe me life.
Oh my god, dude, we've gotten so off topic. I gotta pull up this list and see where we're
Oh,
going from
Lord.
here.
Man, the AI thing is cool in it brings up some ethical questions.
Everything's.
Oh,
Yo, now
be
workplaces,
careful.
dude,
Be careful
workplaces
about
are
that.
going to be like, oh, we need to have at least the 7% employment of AI.
I
dude.
wonder-
Give robots rights.
Going back to being branded, I wonder if becoming an artist is going to be like becoming like a YouTuber or something like that, where you just take brand deals. Oh, this
yeah.
song was sponsored by Quip, or this song is sponsored by.
RC Cola.
This song is sponsored by insert some obscure company
What if
that
that-
paid you $4,000 to record a song.
Are you saying the tag's going to be there like right before the song? Like when you play an album,
Jesus.
you play the album. It's like this Rick Ross track is sponsored by Cheetos. That kind of deal, dude.
Gross.
Maybe not,
Cheetos.
but like,
A watermark in the middle of the fucking song.
no, I don't think it'll be like
Commercial
that.
break in the
I
middle
feel
of the
like
song.
since it'll be streamed, you'll just get an ad before the album plays that says.
Nah, dude, corporations, they're going to get greedy as fuck, man. They're going to
Well,
put these commercials in the middle of songs,
Because
dude.
you know, like
It's gonna be during the bridge.
this song was mixed
Cheetos.
with Waves plugins.
It's me again.
Cheetos.
Rolade.
Man, I got this commercial for Cheetos in the middle of my Rick Ross song, dude. I'm going to get some Cheetos real
The
quick,
next
man.
Lil Pump record sponsored by Trojan. Don't let this happen again.
Oh, no.
Dang.
Oops.
Good gracious.
Oops. All right, so what else? So let me pull off a random topic from this list. Man, what's another field you're interested in, Luke?
Swordsmithing.
Oh, fuck off with that, dude.
Bring
Like,
it all
seriously.
full circle.
No,
Blacksmithing.
to just be truthful, video games, man.
That's actually what I was thinking too.
Dude,
Yeah.
dude, okay. If
Go-
you two do
go
soundtracks for video games, you can make a killing off that. Better than the
Oh, yeah.
music industry, dude.
Mhm.
And in the
Or-
movie
Scoring
industry,
is
Yeah.
scoring
Hans Zimmer isn't hurting.
at all.
and the good thing about the music industry, not music, the good thing about the film industry compared to the music industry is in the film industry, well, nah, never mind. When you get fucked, you get fucked. In the music industry, you can see it coming. So forget what I was gonna say. But my bad, Luke. I cut you off.
I don't get to play video games that much.
Continue.
What are you
Luke?
playing right now?
I mean, right? I'm a fighting game buff, man. So
Tekken, Street Fighter.
Tekken, Soul Calibur, Street Fighter.
The only Soul Calibur that matters. Soul Calibur 4.
You are correct. Is that the one with
Had
Yoda?
and Darth Vader.
My man.
I used to, oh man, talk about ending some friendships if you played as Yoda and they couldn't hit you because like your hitbox is so small.
I know,
Fuck,
man.
why would
You basically got to keg them the whole game.
Yeah.
You can't grab them.
Nope, because I'll just be flipping around. It's basically like the Sidious fight, Yoda versus Sidious at the end of Revenge of the Sith.
Yep.
Sidious's trying to do something, but Yoda's just yeah.
It's like a fly, dude.
Did you play Fighters any?
Fighters.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Fighters.
No, man. That's the only one I
Rough.
haven't got into, man. It's too fast. You know,
Oh, it is.
I like the Marvel vs. Capcom series, but
That's a good game.
Fighters is too fast for me, man.
Yeah.
And
You'd be
it's-
fighting, then out of nowhere they'll pull out like a level 1 just straight combo,
and you're dead.
and
you
then
just
it's
sit there
into
like,
the
what's
level
going
3,
on?
and then it's game over. It's quick.
Do you play
Yeah.
fighting games on I don't know what it's called, but they have controllers where it's like
I
a
don't.
joystick.
I
PC?
don't. I need to, but I
Gamepad.
don't. The little the
Oh.
joy.
Oh,
the
the
Joy-Pad.
Joy-Con with the
Yeah.
buttons, dude. That's so much fun, dude.
I've
Like,
watched a guy
man.
play Fighters with that, and he was pretty insane.
If you're somebody that buys it, you better be good. Like you can't just buy.
Or
something
they're just
like
somebody whose
just
parents
loves
has
bashing.
money.
that. I know.
they're not that
but-
much, dude.
Like
Well,
150-ish.
Yeah, like 150 ish.
I can't
Yeah.
justify spending $150 on something
Look.
I won't use every day.
Look, it's $150. It's not $3,000, dude.
The appropriate
doesn't
response
matter.
to that.
That doesn't matter, Juan.
Juan.
Hey, Juan.
But I guess what you say is you'd like to stay in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, I
the
mean,
most part.
even if it's not scoring, stuff like
Coding, man. Games need people
Like
to,
I said,
to write code.
I like, if it's not going to be like scoring games or stuff, I like coming up with storyboard for like cartoons and things,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Like my brother, at one point he was working with Warner Brothers. You remember a movie? Y'all might be too young. You remember Quest for Camelot?
Yes.
Do you even know how old I am?
How old are you,
I'm
man?
26. I'm
You
about
know
to
how,
be.
do you know how old I am?
Are you 30?
Right on the mark, man.
You got it. I gotta edit that, dude. It didn't clip though.
Right, because it probably slammed that 1176 I have on the way in.
Yeah,
Brought to you by Lender.
No, this is UA.
brought to you by Uncle Sam's.
No, I
Cola.
know that
Oh,
movie,
yes.
Quest for Camelot.
But yeah.
I watched that movie.
He actually animated a few parts in the movie, man.
You can't edit that out. You just have to leave it as is.
Yeah, he animated like a few parts in the
Oh,
movie.
dang.
And
Was he just like he wasn't like a supervisor?
he wasn't a supervisor.
So he
was-
just came in. These are your key frames.
yes, he did the grunt
Animate
work.
this 3 seconds. That's going to take you
Yeah.
4 hours
He did the grunt
on
work.
Windows 95.
But we love like cartoons and comic books so much that I would like to start like a series dealing with some type of comic book or cartoons. That would be like the type of field I'd like to go into away from music. You know, that would be something good. He's starting up like a series right now, and there would be something I would like to get in with him. But
I
yeah.
feel you on that because that I haven't got to see it, but the new Spider-Man movie that came out the end of the year
It is
looked
dope.
incredible.
It's the best Spider-Man movie, bar none.
Obviously, I mean the bar's not that.
I mean, it's really not
That
that
bar's
high.
not that high, dude.
I mean,
But in the animated Spider-Man world, the bar is very high.
I find it
Yeah.
very interesting because I think more people are starting to take the. Most people didn't take animation very seriously. They didn't see it as a very serious medium, but nowadays we're kind of sort of to see and appreciate more, like anime, for example, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been taken more seriously now ever since the success of Cowboy Bebop in the West. You got your Samurai Champloo's and so many other series that people just think, oh, that's just a fucking cartoon.
Yeah.
But it's become a more serious medium now because I feel like
And a lot of animes are being unfortunately adapted into real life movies.
bullshit.
yo,
Mm,
that Dragon
Definitely.
Ball Z live adaptation, dude. Oh my god.
Oh, man.
Couldn't stop laughing
But-
the whole time
but-
through, man.
What you're talking about, them doing crazy. Super Broly opening weekend made $7 million, which is insane.
Yeah.
It was a selected theater. Like, it wasn't a big nationwide drop. It was
It was
was-
one selected theater.
yeah, because I had to pre-order. I pre-ordered my tickets a week early, and it sold out like before like a few days, and it did every night that weekend. It was like the 5th biggest anime opening ever. It was the biggest anime opening in America. I'm fairly certain and it was awesome. Movie's incredible. Best Dragon Ball movie, bar none. There are, if you want to nitpick, cool, whatever. Broly is canon, and so is Gogeta. Fight me. I don't care.
So what about you, Josh? What other field would interest you?
Well, I'm doing it right now. It's video, like video
Okay.
editing, which is similar to audio, but way harder.
Yeah, it feels
'Cause-
it feels like a lot of I hate to cut you off, just but all my friends like that work in audio and me, we're so cynical about a field. It's like, yeah, it ain't that hard.
It's
It
hard.
can be.
Audio is hard in a different respect. Video is hard because, like, if you mess up, you literally can see it. Like, if something gets unsynced, like, you'll notice, huh, this audio is not, what is this pleb doing?
I feel like when it comes to people consuming film versus music, you can tell a shitty film a lot easier than you can tell a shitty song. For the average person.
I
No,
love
for the
some
average person,
B-rated
yeah.
movies, man.
Average plebeian
Yeah.
That's right.
through the universe.
Average plebeian. I really like video editing. I mean, but like with anything, there are days where I don't want to do this.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Because it's fun and it's really cool to get, like, I edited a music video for a client of mine and I made the story. It didn't really have a story. It was just like 80s vibes or whatever. Like almost kind of family film-esque, but like it's cool to, like, the next video I'm working on is more of a storyboarded kind of thing that I helped create, and now I'm about to start editing all the footage together. And it's really cool to kind of, we thought of this idea, now we've put it on camera, and I'm cutting it together and making it, like, look how I want and all that. So it's been fun. And, like, animating would be cool, but I can't draw. And but I mean, I can do, like, menial tasks, very repetitive motions. Like, I was learning After Effects and Blender, like, to do that. Oof, man,
Dude,
it's so hard.
that's one of my little cousin's side hustles. He'll work on Blender and he'll do like 3D modeling for like indie game developers. He'll make like a quick 180.
Yeah,
Yes.
if you're good with Blender is free.
Yeah.
It's way too strong for it to be free because they just came out with a new version of Blender. It also just came out with this new rendering engine that's insane. There are dudes that use Blender and are making, like, 3D animations for major motion pictures.
Wow.
Oh, let me get this clear. This show is sponsored by me and me only. So I know you've been pulling
Anything,
yeah.
anything we say is stuff that I use and I back personally.
But anyways, go on. Did you have anything? I was about to ask Andrew if he was.
I like video editing. It's fun. It's with the YouTube. It's real easy to, like. You could go on, online job sites, and some Indian company wants you to edit food video. We need you to edit together this
RC Cola.
yeah, this
Cola.
Korean curry rice tutorial on how to make it, and it's like a quick hundo
Yo,
that I didn't have before.
You think the Indian video quality is bad? You should look at Vietnamese video quality. Like, they do voiceovers like for Chinese,
Oh,
and
no.
they won't even get rid of the Chinese voice. So
They'll just
So
do
when,
it
when
on
it's a
top.
monologue, and when it's a monologue,
What?
dude, you'll hear the Chinese voice, and then you'll hear, like, say if it's like a queen, it's gonna be a man voicing over it in the most. He'll be right up on the mic like this.
Yeah.
They'll just keep talking, so there's
Just keep
like no form, there's no perception of depth. So, anyways, Andrew, before I go on another tangent,
you see what
I'm gonna have to edit. But anyways, what would you?
We're just giving
if there's
examples.
another field that you would do, what would it be? What would be something else that interests you?
To be honest, I've always been of the thought that, and this is kind of
IP is stored in the balls. I can understand that.
Oh Lord.
the
This
idea
episode's falling apart.
that
It was
sorry,
a part
Luke.
before it
it's
started.
an elitist idea, but like, if there's anything, if you're going for a creative pursuit and there's like anything else that's like really in the way, that you probably shouldn't go for it. You know what I mean? Like,
I kind of see where you're coming at it from.
like if I'm going into music and I'm going into music with a backup plan, yeah, I probably shouldn't be going into music. That's how I feel. But I really, actually, honestly, I don't really have any interest
no, that's
in music.
understandable, dude. That's a good way to think about your craft and art. But unfortunately, for people like me, where it's like, not that good, I'm not that disciplined, so I gotta find other ways to do it. Make it, while I do stuff like audio stuff for me, for my hobby, for my enjoyment. It's what brings me. It's what brings me happiness and a little money. too.
Yeah, and that's incredible. That's great.
So, I
Yeah.
get where you're coming from, dude. Because I know you're super artistic. You're trying to go balls deep into this music thing for the right reasons. So I understand where you're coming from, dude.
And honestly, I do wish that I had something else because I'm
I was the
fairly
same
one-dimensional.
Yeah, I was the same way. I tried to do a different major. Like I was a math major for a little bit, and I was
Wow.
like, I thought I was good at math. I'm not that good. I'm average at best.
Mhm.
But it was like, well, I can play the drums, and that's about the only thing I'm good at. So I guess this is all I got. Yee.
But Andrew, if you don't have it figured out, I mean, how old are you? 19?
I'm 20.
You're 20? Don't worry, dude.
It only gets worse.
No, life.
Don't worry.
Life
It gets worse.
Life will kick
gets
you in
better,
the ass,
man.
and you will figure it out.
No,
Yeah.
Think of it like this, dude. Like, Luke's 30 right now, right? But he's
Yeah.
probably feels young as fuck. So here's what I'm
I
saying.
look young as fuck too.
Look.
That's true. That's worth it, though.
Well, look, Andrew, think of it like this. You're only 20.
Mhm.
In reality, right? You could fuck up for the next 10 years, and you still got the rest of your life.
That's somewhat optimistic.
It's very optimistic, dude, because you got time.
Yeah.
You got time to figure out things. So
I
don't
mean,
worry about it too much.
Dave Pensado didn't get into the music business until he was 35.
Wow.
Jay-Z didn't, well,
Don't quote me on that.
I don't know.
Luke said, nope.
He's like,
I'm not touching that. No,
I ain't
nah,
touching
man.
it either.
I think he was like
Ooh.
25 when he came out with his first single that picked up right. With Reasonable Doubt, I think he was 25.
There's a lot in the music world where they're like, your first big break is like 10 years later, or it's pretty uncommon for you to be super young and explode.
Or stay relevant.
Yes,
That's a big
that's
thing.
really
Yeah.
people who are timeless. Like, I mean, your Elvis.
It's art, the artistry and the craft.
Your Elvises of the worlds, or the I'm blanking on his name, but the guy who like engineered and produced like the Beatles, or
Got his name too, dude.
Mutt Lange, who was doing Pro Tools editing before Pro Tools was even considered. He did like some Def Leppard stuff and records like that, but he was doing Pro Tools.
Quincy Jones.
Yeah, Quincy Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, Michael Jackson.
Dr. Dre's.
Yeah,
Miles Davis. Let's just have a bunch of big names here.
You know that
Let me
album-
name drop real fast.
God, I love it when Craig and like Henry, they get in the same room, they just start name dropping, trying to one up each other all the time.
And
dude.
then Dr. Panion wins
yeah,
because he has 2 Grammys.
And he
He's
knows
I just talked
everybody.
to John Legend. Oh,
Oh, I have John. I
It's that
have
easy.
Andy
That's
Sneap's number right
Pretty
here.
fucking good and laugh right there. Pretty
oh,
close.
it's that easy. Just talk to John Legend. Forehead. It's that easy. It's that easy, man.
Oh my god.
Oh, goodness.
But we're getting off. What the fuck were we talking? I'm ruining this
side
episode.
gigs.
Side
Side
gigs
gigs,
was the
yeah.
first thing.
So-
Yeah.
It is a good idea to diversify your
I know.
income. That way, if January is a slow
Well-
month in the music world because Christmas is over and
Yeah,
nobody has
everything
money.
shuts down. and-
Yeah.
I have like a side gig doing sound at a church, so
Yeah,
That's
like, that's things.
That's a start, dude.
Yeah.
that's always
I'm learning
churches every Sunday and every Wednesday.
an invaluable amount of information. Like it's incredible.
Dude, the speed Andrew's been picking up Pro Tools. Like I was watching him, dude. It's impressive. He's picking up some decent speed on that, dude.
And then you'll realize Pro Tools has quit unexpectedly.
But I
And
guess
you'll scream.
I've talked about what I would do like 100 times on this show, but I might as well just talk to you guys for the sake of conversation. So even though like I'm doing computer science as like another major, that's honestly the most cynical way possible. I see it as it's a job I can deal with. It's decent money. The other thing I'd be very interested in doing, I guess sort of outside the entertainment realm or sort of in it, is I know this is so broad, but investing. That's so broad, but
I don't have enough money to invest.
the idea,
This episode is sponsored by Robinhood.
I don't know, but the
Oh
idea.
my god. We're getting those ads every freaking day.
Look, watch my channel get struck down because we're pulling up all these companies and like, hey, they can't do that.
We're not doing anything that's against copyright, so we're
Right,
fine.
that's true, but
This is
But-
creative property.
I don't
You can
know.
do a lot with like programming and things. Like there's a lot with the computer science, like the field itself. There's so many
There's so many
various branches you could dive into and
That's-
find
Mhm.
some like you know, whether it's like IT, networking, or, you know, making stuff.
That's why they tell you to specialize quick, because there's so many things in the field. Like from your security, there's so much, dude. Back end.
Just getting
I'm barely
smashed.
scraping the surface, but
Just in the eyes, in the mouth,
yeah, investing.
in the butt.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
I guess another thing I'm interested in is just, I guess blunt way of putting it is just playing with money. Just flipping it,
Dude, the
Well,
house, like
folding it.
flipping houses.
rolling it.
Making origami. I just
Yeah,
love playing with money.
Taking the crust off your
I
bread.
love playing with money, dude.
I mean, investing is a very
It's a very broad term.
but if it's, I mean, all those, like, you know, your Shark Tank shows, stuff like that kind of show like it can pay off in a big way, or it could not, and you could
Or-
lose everything.
Or you could lose $6,000 on electricity, like someone I knew did. I'm throwing shade at that person. Not in this room.
Ooh,
Somebody, yeah,
It real be like that.
subliminals.
yeah. It really be like that.
Did you just subtweet at him?
No one says that anymore.
Air
dude.
quotes.
Remember when
That's
people would get worked up over that shit, dude? They'd say, "Oh, he subtweeted me this. My-
what he's talking
My butthole is hurt, dude."
Oh.
Oh my god,
Oh my
dude.
gosh.
Luke is just sitting here. Was like, I can't believe this is going on.
Hey, I'm just a fly on the wall right now, man.
I was flying the wall for a bit, dude. Let me put this back on track, dude. Oh, what do you think is the next stage of hip hop, dude? We've seen it more from the underground boom bap to like sort of like a R&B soulish, and now we're in like sort of a punk era. So what's next?
I think what's going to happen next. I won't say that I know what sound is next, but I think the next trend is that we're going to finally see more female or women artists actually get shine. Like, you know, right now we got Cardi, but we also got No Name Gypsy that's coming out. We got Princess Nokia that's coming out. we got a lot more
Like actual female rappers.
Yes.
I'm glad No
Spitting
Name.
bars, not just singing.
Right. I'm
or
glad
looking good.
I'm glad No Name Gypsy's starting to come
Yeah.
up with it too, because she's been doing it for a while.
And then last year you had Rhapsody, who had a Grammy nod, you know,
Mhm.
for her album. So I think we're gonna get more women doing a lot more on the rap scene. That's one thing. And then second, I think we're gonna have more indie companies work. Like we had QC, you know, they were indie and they had like what, the Migos, Yachty under their
Ugh.
group, Little Baby, all these other
Ugh.
guys. You don't like? We'll leave it for
You
another.
gotta look at it from my point of view. How many knockoffs that I hear of all those artists?
Yeah, but
And it just
since they're
kills it for me.
they're the start of it, you can't.
I don't like the mumble rap dudes. It's real. Just
I'm
I deal
gonna-
with it.
I'm gonna
at
say
such
this.
a nauseating level.
Yeah, because you got to record everybody.
Yeah.
I will say this. I don't, like we said, the originators, I give them as much props as I can. But when you get all the rest of them, I hate it. But to stay on topic, I think we're going to get more indie labels, like how TDE, QC, Dreamville were just popping up and people actually like them for what their niche is and what they're doing, and all their artists are becoming stars. We're going to have more indie companies come back up, like how back in Texas, you know, in the early 2000s, you had Rap-A-Lot and Swisher House and, you know, just different groups like that. I think we're going to get more indie labels and more female artists actually doing something.
I think that's a good thing.
It's a great thing, man.
It's a great thing because those, like I was talking about earlier, how a smaller company can move faster. So now you don't have to worry about. I like whenever I hear about, you know, Universal or, you know, your big three, they have so many subsidiaries. I kind of compare to like EA buying a developing company.
Yeah.
In that sense, to where now that indie label, now because they're under this larger entity, they're basically controlled by that larger entity, and
Yep.
it's turned into a game of flipping numbers rather than having creative freedom. So
More,
I think having more independent labels is going to help in that sense. Just help. Like, think of Stone's Throw, for example. I mean, they're not making money, but they have a lot of creative freedom. I don't know I don't know how they stay up, but I mean,
well, I think they're making money because they got their niche group of people that are going to automatically buy a certain set of albums or come to a certain set of shows. But it brings it back to the Netflix of music. You're going to have the big companies, and then you're going to have the indies probably finding out their niche in the streaming world as well. But I think it's going to be interesting, man. I think nothing lasts forever. You'll probably have like a good 5 years at the most of one sound. Trap music was big, the original trap music, air quotes. But now, then you had crunk music, you had hyphy,
Oh man,
you had
crunk
mumble.
music. What a time to be alive.
You feel me?
I remember crunk. I was in 7th grade.
Turn the windows to the wall.
Till the sweat.
Drop down my balls.
down these females crawl.
There you go. But you don't,
No, skeet.
motherfucker.
No.
Skeet. God dang.
Where are we?
369.
we're talking about that era of hip hop.
Yeah.
Because that era, that was like the synths. Like all those big crunk songs had
Trident synths were
like,
just, yeah.
the synth lines were just. But now
They were cheesy to a point where you loved it.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
just. It was like extra sharp cheddar from Kraft. It was just because now it's the 808s. They're
Yep.
so loud. They're so distorted.
I can't wait for that to age horribly.
It will.
I'm not gonna agree with it. I think we're gonna get another. It's gonna evolve to something else.
Because you brought up about the next era of music, like, and you mentioned punk. All these rappers are into metal bands.
Yep.
Like they be repping your Wings of Plagues, your Rings of Saturn, your Slayers, and all of those beats. I can hear the breakdown influence. You know, it's obnoxious,
Yep.
loud, in your face. You know, just hard hitting like a breakdown would. And then they're either just yelling, or during all the soft spots, they're just like mumbling and whatever. Or you get the like 08 scene kids, the dudes who are just auto-tune is at 0, and it's just, it's like T-Pain, but if you took an 08 metalcore chorus and slapped it on a trap beat. It's funny because like all those like kind of artists in that scene, that's what they liked, was those types of like metalcore bands from like 2008 to 2012.
Yeah.
And that's what influenced those beats. So I do wonder what's the next.
They're gonna start sampling old, established sampled beats. Imagine
They're
when
gonna
beats
sample
get sampled,
a
dude.
sample that's already been sampled.
Think about that, dude. Think about
Little
that.
John gets sampled
Little John.
to the windows,
Yeah.
to the wall.
What was a Rich Boy? Was Rich Boy considered crunk? Throw some D's. I don't know what that was. But
I think
liked
you
it.
can. I think you can put them in there. This like
Dirty
the,
South. I guess
it's Dirty South.
Dirty South.
Yeah.
Dirty South was fun, dude. I actually enjoyed Dirty South for the
Can't lie.
little time
I
it
mean,
existed.
What's out now is basically just the evolved version
It's
of Dirty
evolved,
South.
dude.
Anyway,
I remember I would get in so much trouble like for watching VH1 when that was a thing, like on Sundays. I didn't have speakers, so I turned up the TV loud to be like all these fucking like ignorant songs, like your Young Buck, your Rich Boys, and my mom would be like, "What the hell are you listening to?" It's like, "Oh, I'm just relaxing, listening to music,
it's
Mom."
art.
Yeah,
It's
it's like
art.
Fuses just would play like insert screamo band just playing your zeros and drop C.
Meanwhile, Andrew over here is like, as Andrew, the real artist over here, sitting was like, I don't know what's going on, dude.
I only
And he's
listen
like,
to Dream Theater.
I hope all hip hoppers just die in a fire.
Oh man.
I'm gonna be honest. I
It's
haven't
not-
recognized almost any of those names.
It's okay.
It's okay, dude.
The crump core would definitely have been before you would have,
Yeah.
because that was, you're 20 now,
Yeah.
and like
2000 to 2005.
like maybe even a little
7?
bit like 8, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
How old were you? Born to like 8 years old, right? Yeah, you wouldn't have been, because I was.
Wouldn't have been into that.
I was 2000. I would have been like 9. So like my older siblings would have been into it very aggressively.
Yeah.
and I had to listen to it because they drove me to school.
Speaking of trap, oh, I'm sorry, Josh. Go on before.
No, speaking of trap,
How long has T.I. been around? I didn't think about it, but T.I.'s been around forever,
He
dude.
may-
at
may
least
not be
2001, man.
That
he's
man-
not making music. He's
No,
making
no,
art.
no.
He's
He
still
dropped
making.
that-
he just came out
he
with
dropped-
Dime Trap,
What?
man.
He dropped the project, and it's pretty good, dude.
It is
I
like
know
my
he's
top
been
10 of
producing, and
2017.
He's been
2018.
like getting artists.
good.
He
I
has a
love that.
label,
Yeah.
right? Ti has a label.
Yeah, he's been
That's
had
what-
on Grand
kinda what
Hustle,
he's been
Hustle
doing.
Gang,
Yeah.
but his album that just came out is great, man.
I like it too.
The
Yeah.
Isn't Dave Chappelle on it for some
Dave,
reason?
Dave Chappelle is basically
Yee.
he's what is he doing? He's narrating the whole thing, but the musicality in it is really dope, man. Like you'll get your church anthems on it, but then you'll get some soul music and then funk music, and then you'll get your trap shit. But it's
He knows his audience.
He does.
He's been around for a long time, and that's really rare. I mean, how many?
In rap music,
Yeah.
extremely.
Extremely rare.
It's like-
so
it's
Never
like
mind,
a
I'm not gonna say
5-year window if you're
he's
doing it
past
right.
his 5-year window, dude. He's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it's creeping up on 20 slowly,
Yeah,
dude.
at least
Wow.
2002.
He's been around for a minute.
Good old Tip, dude.
Oh,
When I saw that Dime Trap album, I was like, is this the same T.I. from 2001? I type it in, I was like, yep, that's him. That's Tip.
Yup.
He had some just ragers back in the day.
Oh
Just
yeah,
some
man.
like certified party bangers. You knew if they were playing, it was about to be lit.
That was funny, dude. That's funny how I guess that definition of lit back then was like, this crazy fun thing. And now the definition of lit is kind of, in my opinion, I think people get it, or it's like a weird, depressed monstrosity of a thing. At least that's what I hear. My mom hates me. That kind of shit. But anyway, okay, so let me ask you another question as we
Okay.
try to reel it back into something relevant.
There is no relevancy.
What got you into music? What really made you want to do it?
Well, I will say this. My mother, she was very musical already. She was a singer, gospel singer for a long time. My father, he couldn't play a lick of anything, but he knew good music. So in the house, you'd have your Stevie Wonders, your Princes, but then you have your Stevie Ray Nickses,
Ooh.
Mellencamp's, Fleetwood Mac, So you would be and it wasn't just one style of music. So you get your soul, you get your rock, your Hall and Oates, Moore's Day in the Time, Billy Joel. They just knew good music. But I would say what got me into it, one, my mom, the fact that she sung all the time, and in the church you had to do something in the church. So it was either work on the equipment, become an usher, or do something in the choir. So drums was first. And then at one point, she ended up getting this Core, was it Core? I think it was a Core NT workstation. And you could record loops. You press a note, a loop would play. And you can make your whole song, but you have to press different notes as you go to make a full loop of a whole song. And at that point, I was like, man, I love this shit. And then my older brother, he was a DJ at one point. He used to rap. He's like, man, you're making the beats, make the beats for me. Like, you know what? I'm going to become a producer. And lo and behold, Fruity Loops came out the air. Fruity Loops 3.56 edition. And I was hooked, man.
Wow.
Like, since music was just in my family and just being able to learn all these different genres or at least appreciate them, I was like, I got to do something in it. I like seeing people move or dance or at least appreciate what you're doing. And I was sold, man.
There is a super satisfying feeling when people are like, singing along, like having a good time to something you made.
Man,
I don't know if you guys.
I play jazz, so that's not.
Damn. Rip.
Everybody press F.
Press F. Type F in the comment section for respects for Andrew Getman on this day,
There-
January the 29th.
I can definitely agree with that. Like the first show I played where the people knew our songs and were like singing along, jumping around, just like having a genuine good time. Not the my friend's playing a show and I'm gonna go
support air quotes.
I'm gonna go.
Air quotes.
We're not even gonna say support. I'm gonna spit him like a couple of bucks because he kept hounding me about it. But like the first time somebody like actually jams out to what you listen to, or like somebody from a different state, it sends you like a DM. It's like, dude, these songs are bangers, and you're like, all right.
Makes
My
you feel like
mom
you're
was
doing
wrong.
something.
Get satisfaction that
Yeah, there's
that's something
that-
you put your heart and soul into. Someone
Yes,
appreciates it.
yeah,
That kind of
There you
stuff.
go.
Yeah, or like, I guess now it's like if a mix, if somebody like if a song blows up that I did a mix on, that I'm not
It's not the same
ashamed that I had to be a part of it.
It's kind of like, you remember when you got good grades at school and you get the A on
No.
the roll? Oh shit! Oh
thing.
shit!
It's like, nah, bro.
I'm
Okay,
white, dog.
okay. Let me see if I can reel that back in with
No,
a
it's
new
fine.
analogy.
My
Yeah.
parents would hit me if I didn't get A's.
But yeah, you know how
Your parents
you.
Asian dude?
Worse, Southern white people.
Oh Lord! But you know how you get an A and then you get that approval. You get like
That
a,
dopamine drip, my guy.
you get a
Well, hit.
like a ribbon, and then your parents would put it on the wall, or they would give you some more allowance money or something,
Yeah.
or let you
What?
go do some shit.
What's allowance?
What's allowance?
Okay, I never got allowance either, but
Okay.
you get
Trying to be
A's.
relatable.
Okay,
But if you
Josh,
get
we need
A's,
to-
if
okay,
you
we
get-
need to stop fucking around.
We
Let's
know what
let
you're
Lou
saying.
talk.
Motherfucker. Okay. But
Motherfucker.
if you get A's, you know, you might get a video game or something because you did
Big
something
ups.
right. If it's kind of like on the music side, you see somebody dance to it or they're chanting the same, you know, your song, you seem like, oh, motherfucker. They actually fuck with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's the most beautiful thing in the world, man. And
Because I've been on the flip of like you're opening for a band or you're opening for an act, and
yeah,
you know they don't care about what
they
you.
don't care what the hell you're playing. They're
Yeah, they
waiting
don't.
for
They're waiting for the headliner. and you're
Nickelback. We're waiting for Nickel.
Yeah, that's right. We're waiting for old Nickelback.
Dude,
Great crowd.
That's what
Chad Kroger.
Dude,
It's a
that's
bunch of
what
bros.
happens at Zydeco, dude. Like they all have all these openers, like for like
Oh
a main act,
man,
and nobody gives a fuck about like the
I-
9
oh,
opening
dude.
acts that come up. It's so sad.
yeah.
It is so sad, dude, because some of them are actually pretty decent.
Here's the other caveat of opening in Zydeco. You have to sell so many tickets. And if you don't, you have to pay like out of pocket
damn.
what your deficit is.
And I
And
think that's stupid. If you want me to
It
perform,
makes-
I shouldn't have to pay to
Well-
perform as well.
it's a double-edged sword because like the promoter had probably already forked up a couple of G's to get this band
True.
to come to Alabama. And it sucks because the venues in Bama to get said artist aren't that big, so like ticket sales are already a little more expensive than they normally would be, as if it were going to be at Work Play in the Soundstage or
Yeah.
Iron City. We just don't have like we don't have a masquerade like Atlanta does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or any other venue in Atlanta that's at least medium sized.
We're not
right.
an entertainment city.
Not anymore. Not
Yeah.
anymore.
So let me reel it back to what I was asking, because I was going to ask Andrew next. We're going to go around in a circle, dude. What got you into music, dude?
Discovery of harmony. Yeah.
How did you discover it, dude?
I don't know. Put two.
Was this
on
the time where
keyboard?
you smoked weed, dude? I don't know.
No, I'm willing to admit.
I wasn't that.
Not yet.
I just really love learning about it. That's one thing. Like the different colors and how they affect each other. And then, you know, just like listening to music. I don't know how to describe it, but listening to how other people use colors in their compositions and writing. It's a really hard question to answer.
No, I get it, dude. I get what you're trying to say.
But and
I mean, was there an experience, like some moment in life
Like
that
an
got you?
album?
there was like two things that were pretty big. One was I was going through Paul Gilbert's Intense Rock 2, if you know that instructional DVD.
Yes.
And I was
I
like,
do know what you're talking
I
about.
fucking love alternate picking. It was like, yeah. And
I
then
can do it.
what else we had? Jeff Coffin, he's a saxophone player from Dave Matthews Band. He came to my high school, and that was like, wow. Just like, whoa.
It's a nail in the coffin.
Oh, yeah. It was like, holy shit, this is a real artist doing something incredible. And like just how he described and talked about music was like just so inspiring. And then seeing him and like just a bunch of like local cats from Huntsville like just play some standards, it was like, oh my God, this is awesome. I just like, it's one of those, there's not many shows like this, but one where it's just like, you just like cannot stop smiling. Just like the intense energy, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
There's like,
Yeah, I do.
like when I saw Snarky Puppy, when I saw Thundercat, it's like Jacob Collier, it's like, when I saw them live, it was like
Ooh, Jacob Collier.
ear to ear, you just can't stop
It's
just
crazy.
being,
It's
Because they're already-
euphoria,
they're
They're
man.
already
You just
insane on the
catch you.
recording, but to
Mhm.
see him in person,
yeah,
that's a whole nother thing, dude. I saw Corey Henry live, dude.
yeah.
He's
Ooh.
nuts.
Mm-hmm.
He's an absolute monster. But
Gives
yeah.
me aneurysms
But
when I
anyways-
watch him play.
anyways, go on, Andrew. Were you gonna keep on going? Because I was gonna ask Josh next.
I think that pretty much says that I would just be saying the same thing over and over again.
No, it's okay. I do that too. So, Josh, what got you into this? What lured you into this industry?
As all good 13-year-olds, there's like, I'm trying to think because there's like a handful of records that like I was fond of at the time, and then, I guess all my friends played. I didn't really play anything at the time. I kind of picked up guitar to
Air
get
quotes.
chicks as a 14, 15-year-old. You know, I was into like Green Day and all that, like your middle school years. And then I started getting into more like prog stuff. So like people who actually knew how to play their instrument, and it wasn't just like chords and stuff. And then in the 10th grade, the band director asked me if I wanted to be in band because he was looking for people, and I was like, sure. And he was like, do this, and he got a snare drum and just played some like basic things, and I could do it pretty much off the cuff at the time. For what it wasn't anything crazy. And so then it just kind of spiraled into the ether of what I do now. But I mean, it's like, you know, a record here, a record there, with like, oh man, it'd be really cool to be in like a band. You know, I saw this band called Maylene and the Sons of Disaster. They're a Bama local band, but the dude was in Under Oath.
Really?
Yeah, so the lead singer of Maylene was the original lead singer of Under Oath, and I was like, this dude's insane. This band's great. You know, they all played like blues, but with overdrive.
Cool.
But they were just like shredding, and then I got into like Metallica. I saw Metallica live back when they were good. And I
That's
was
been a while ago.
Damn.
Were you even alive then?
Damn.
I saw
we throw shade.
I saw them when like Death Magnetic came out.
That wasn't
Like,
alright.
it wasn't a good record, but they still played live, and it was
Yeah.
still enjoyable. Like they hadn't totally were just like, this is just a paycheck. I saw AC/DC, and like that was an experience. You know, the dudes that wrote like the greatest rock album,
Yeah, man.
arguably of all time. You know,
Heard the greatest two songs, and then
Yeah.
also
the
the
rest
next
of their
song.
records. But I mean,
The
I
other
saw
stuff.
Angus Young play Back in Black in person, and
Damn.
he's 70 years old running around the stage like he's in his mid-20s, 30s. And then
That's awesome.
you know, I saw that and I was like, well, I'm not good at anything else. You know, I did the math thing. I was a math and physics major for a little bit because mom said I needed to go work for the government. Like,
Yeah.
my dad was in the military.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I don't like this. This is not fun. And then I, you know, joined my first band. And we played some shows. And then I joined a band that actually kind of had a following. And that was what sealed it, I think, for me. It was the first time we played a show and our vocalist said, I want to see a pit. And they actually
Holy shit.
mosh. Like, we played our like intro, which as every band at that time was a synth, like a It was a trap beat. It was popular at the time. At me.
Damn.
Had to pander. You know, you start your set with a trap beat, and then you play your first breakdown, and he said, I want to see you guys circle pit. And when we played that first breakdown, they were fighting. It was insane. So like after that, I was like, I'm done. And then I went to college for 5 years to get a piece of paper that says my name on it and music.
So, I guess how I got lured into it, right?
Lured into it.
Yeah, do you guys
That's
remember?
a really good word.
You guys remember Adult Swim, right?
Yes.
Like old school
Oh, yeah.
Adult Swim. So,
Like
Flying Lotus on the
Fly
commercial
right.
Lotus.
rings.
So my parents, they weren't musical, right? They were just hardworking people from Vietnam. So we would just listen to whatever's on the radio. I just remember one night when I was in first grade, I just stayed up late, and my mom was asleep. I just changed the channel, like Cartoon Network, and the first thing I hear is like this really cool beat over. It's like an Adult Swim, and it's just that cool aesthetic. That was my first discovery of it. And then the show that came up was Cowboy Bebop. I don't know if y'all
Oh,
saw
man.
that.
Oh,
And then when I heard
the
and then
intro.
Top
when I
10
heard-
best.
not only that intro, it was one of the episodes where one of the characters leaves
Okay.
the group forever, and just the song that came up, it was composed by Yoko Kanno and the Seatbelts. Steve Conte was singing it. It was Call Me, Call Me, and it was a 4-minute scene, and because at the time I'm in first grade, I've never seen anything that deep just portrayed through that scene. And just to go through it a little bit, the scene was, it was one of the guys, they were cooking meals because for everyone to come back and eat, and then he goes to tell the other guy, but the other guy, Spike, he's just sitting there smoking a cigarette, and he's not responding to Jet, the guy who's cooking. And then when he calls up Spike to eat, he just walks up to see where Jet is. And Jet is just sitting there. Not Jet. Spike is just sitting there looking at the deck, and all he sees is like 2 words, bye-bye. And then it goes into the song, and then they sit there for like a few minutes, or like implied like 30 minutes. And then as the song starts to climax, right, they just started eating everything out of everyone's bowl. And that was to me, that was really deep, and that was powerful. And then, I got my ass whooped because I wasn't supposed to be staying up till 2. So that sort of introduced me to that kind of stuff in a way. My next thing was when I watched Samurai Champloo, and when I was introduced to, Nujabes, Flying Lotus.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, all that. My parents listen to radio. I've never heard anything like that. Just never heard anything different. And then from there, one of the bumps, that's another commercial bump. That's how I discovered Jay Dilla. So it was weird because my parents were musical. We didn't have records around the house. It was just Adult Swim. That's how I
feel
got
you
into
on
it.
that.
That's awesome.
And
'Cause-
what happened was I associated the music with the feeling and scenes, and it would just get stuck in my head. So I would just try to recreate that somehow by just not even composing, just living life, I guess. So that's what lured me into the industry for a little bit.
I know how you feel because my parents are the same way. They don't play anything. They listen to the radio, and so like I guess kind of out of rebellion would get into different or like finding different things. And then like just latching on to it because it's different. It's not something I had to deal with like on the daily.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not many people in my family were very musical. I don't know how it is in your family.
Oh, mine, like
Nah, I
I said,
know.
mine was just super musical, man.
Yeah.
So
I don't know how yours is.
My dad is a guitar player. He played for like he was like really religious. He is really religious. He went to like played in church and stuff. But my grandmother on his side was a church organist by profession.
Okay.
She went to school. She has like a master's in performance.
Oof.
Yeah, and I was like going through the attic, and I ended up like coming across like some of her manuscripts and like transcriptions she did. So
dope.
Yeah, I was the first kid to go to college in my family.
that's awesome.
That's awesome, dude. Oh, and also, I know y'all seen some Studio Ghibli films, right?
Yeah,
I watched
Oh, yeah.
Spirit. I watched Spirited Away with my dad.
Man, the
Man.
music, man.
yeah. I did a guitar arrangement of I can't remember which tune it was.
That was too fast. I didn't hear a fucking
Okay.
thing out of that.
Anyways, yeah, I've arranged some of the. What is it? What's his name? Joe Hiyashi?
Yeah, Joe Hisashi,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, one of those Asian names.
Oof.
He's great. Did you compose like
Spirited Away theme? That's what it was.
I don't know if he did Spirited Away. He's done a ton of stuff, but one that sticks out to me is like Howl's Moving Castle.
Oh yeah,
Oh man.
it's like a
Yeah, that. It's
like that.
beautiful, dude. It's just beautiful, dude. How long has this episode been running?
We're at like
2 hours?
no, we're over 2 hours for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
We're closing in at 150 minutes, so almost 2.5 hours.
2.5. Not bad. Well, you guys
Long form conversation
There you
Yeah,
go.
is
well,
very
there you go.
popular right now.
It is, but one of my friends told me like the episodes were a little bit long, but he liked it. But it was like at the same time, it was like I lose track of time, dude. Like yesterday, I did an episode of Maurice Nix, and it was a great 55 minutes, but he had to go because he had to go back to work. So
It do be like that.
it do be like that. So,
It real do.
well, you guys want to wrap this up? Because I'm pretty hungry.
Yeah, I gotta pee.
There
Yeah.
you go.
I'm on Andrew's level. I drank so much water and coffee. My balls are about to explode.
Yeah, I got the sweet tea I've been sipping
That's
on
where my
over here.
kidneys are.
That's
Well-
right. Pee is stored in the balls.
Well, Luke, I appreciate you coming out for the episode.
Man, I
and
appreciate it, man.
hijinks.
it's okay.
Hey, I loved it. I loved it, man.
And thanks for dropping your knowledge on the industry because you basically articulated better than what I was going to articulate.
It
Yeah, I
do
felt
be that
bad
way
talking
sometimes.
after you.
It do. Episode recap. Get a lawyer.
Always have representation.
That's right.
And remember, through the perpetual universe,
Air quotes.
And
quotes.
also, thank you, Andrew, for coming out. I appreciate it. And appreciate you, Josh, for giving me the space to do this. All right.
Come to audio state.
All right. And I guess we'll wrap it.
This
Cool.
has been brought to you by Lander.
This ain't brought to you by shit.
An RC
Just stop
Cola.
the episode right now, Josh.
RC
This ain't
Cola.
brought to you by shit.